Hello there. Welcome to Blitz Transmissions. I'm Tommy. This is Blitz Barracks number 7. This is basically the monthly live stream that we do on the last Sunday of the month, every single month. And we talk Star Wars, we talk reveals, we basically do a catch-up on everything that's happened this last month with Star Wars news, Star Wars toys, Star Wars reveals, rumors, you name it. It's just kind of the catch-all stream, you know? It's kind of where I get a bunch of friends together. We have a good time. We kick it back. It's a little more casual, a little less, fast-paced and regimented like a lot of my other content is. And we're going to be talking about quite a few topics. Some of them will take much, more brief than others, because a lot of it's like reveals that everyone's known about for a couple weeks now, so we can just breeze right through that stuff, because you've already heard me talk about it here, and you've also heard me talk about it on the Sarlacc Digest. We're a little light on the guests this month, partially because we are in a time where things are just kind of busy. Sometimes streaming on the weekends is a little difficult for people. So yeah, and football playoffs are going on right now, so that's always going to affect people, choosing stupid football over Star Wars. But of course, I'm joined with 212 Hunter. How are we doing, Hunter?
We're doing great. Staying warm.
Yes, that's all you can do. And then we got Scott Solo, host of Sarlacc Digest podcast.
What's up, nerds?
What's going on? Guys, I hope you're doing well. I hope, Hunter, you and I are going to stay warm. We don't freeze throughout the stream here.
It's so cold here in Southern California. It's about 70 degrees right now. Oh my God. It's terrible outside. I mean, look at the sunshine. Oh, God, so gross.
The sun was out for a little bit earlier today, but we're looking at some nice, crisp, negative temperatures over here where I'm at.
No, pass.
Yeah. Hey, I will always take the cold over the heat because
That's
I can
true.
at least, when it's cold, I just put on more layers. When it's hot out, you're just doomed.
There's a limit to how much you can take off without having Tommy come and arrest you. So
This is true. Yeah. Not in the comfort of your own home, of course, but yeah, out in the public.
Course.
So, of course, guys, we have a lot to talk about. I did just want to get into a couple housekeeping things before we go into the stream itself. I did do some updates on the visual look of the streams. I've, for the longest time, basically since I started the channel, it was just, pretty generic. I had a Starfield background, and, the little logo up in the top right. But I was like, you know what, how can we level up the look of these Blitz Barracks live streams? So one thing that I did was I included the actual Clone Trooper barracks in the background of the stream here. You can see some of Domino Squad's training helmets in the back here. And then we also have Scott polishing the training helmets for 99 right now.
Oh yeah, I am.
And then we also have, I put a nice little overlay, because I actually didn't even realize till recently that StreamYard had an overlay feature. So I went and made a custom little overlay and put it together. I know now I'm getting, I'm approaching the level of the Sarlacc Digest stream quality. We're getting there, guys. But yeah, so we'll say hello to chat, and then we'll just jump right into things, because like I said, we have a lot to talk about today, and there's some stuff I really want to kind of get into the meat and potatoes of. As you guys know, the title of the stream is, we're going to be talking about maybe our collecting habits have been changing. Maybe we're going to talk about the dreaded scale wars. But yeah, so let's go into the chat here. We have, of course, Scott Solo in chat. We got Michael Galupo, my GOAT, greatest intro ever. Shout out Cogmotion for making that awesome stop motion intro for the streams. And Michael Galupo, of course, is a Rancor Battalion channel member, but he is also an ARC Trooper in the Patreon. If you want to check out the Patreon or the YouTube channel membership, links to both of those are in the description below for the YouTube channel membership. You can also hit the little join button next to the subscribe button down below. Of course, if you're not yet subscribed, subscribe to Blitz Transmissions. I've got awesome Star Wars content coming out all the time. We got Carbonites in here. What's going on? Yes, we did also have our first game night, led by 212 Hunter on the Blitz Transmissions Discord. We had a few new faces join the Discord yesterday, and we got to chat, play some video games. We played with Jackson from 1313 Podcast for the first time in It's got to have been years now since we
Dude.
played.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hunter, do you want to fill everyone in? Because I couldn't make it like for basically the whole thing. I was at my parents' house celebrating my dad's 52nd birthday.
Oh, wow.
But, yeah, how was it, Hunter? How was it last night?
It was pretty fun. We had a decent turnout. There were like, a solid 7 or 8 of us in there probably. But man, I'm hoping for more on the next one, and
Yeah.
I might even be a monthly occurrence. Might try to schedule one, once a month. So
That'd be cool. We'll probably play other games other than just Battlefront as well. But Battlefront's always just a safe option. Lots of people have that game.
So you're telling me that your father is 8 months older than me?
Yeah, that is what I'm saying.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Yeah. Apologize in advance, Scott. But yeah, we've also got Be Some in the chat. If you can't get some, be some. We have Guy is Guy. Here we go. Commander Cody's Vault. What's going on? Saying his hellos. Back to the football game. We got Art D. Henderson. What's going on, dude? We got Chris K. Another Rancor Battalion channel member and ARC Trooper in the Patreon. Josh Isley Spaceports in the chat. We've also got the Max Rebo experience. Yeah, we could start over the whole stream. Just give me 1 second here. Yeah, we'll just.
What's up, nerds?
No. So I did just want to get into some housekeeping. A couple little announcements at the top of the stream. Of course, you can check out all my links in the description below if you want to check out other social media, Discord, YouTube channel membership, all that stuff. We kind of alluded to it earlier, but all that stuff is in the description below. But there's a couple other things that you guys need to know about community-wise for Star Wars, specifically Star Wars action figures. Announcement for all of my TVC collectors or maybe TVC collecting prospects. You better head on over. You have until 11:59 p.m. tonight Eastern Time to head on over to the SWTVC Instagram page, which I have pulled up here. You can also find it usually on my Instagram story as well as the SWTVC YouTube channel. We have the TVC March Madness 2026. Bada bing, bada boom. It's right here. It's going to be it. After midnight tonight, you won't be able to submit anymore. Those guys are trying to beat their record number of submissions from last year, which was, I think, a little over 1,200 submissions they had last year. Yeah, they've been doing this every year since 2020. Shout out to all the guys over at the SWTVC team. I was just streaming with them over on their channel yesterday, and we talked about my top 25 and everybody else's. So basically, if you're not familiar, I'll make it very brief. What this is it's a March Madness bracket. I bet you could have figured that one out. It starts in March, and it's going to go throughout the month. Everybody votes on every little matchup based on the seeding of 1 to 64. However, that 64 is solely determined by submissions made by the TVC community. So if you want to make your voice heard, it is also a weighted system. So for example, your number 1 pick gets 25 points towards the conglomerate total. Your number 2 pick gets 24, so on and so forth, all the way down to number 1. It's definitely worth making your voice heard. I did so. Many of my friends did so with the prequel and Clone Wars era. A lot of us are very hopeful that we'll get more prequel and Clone Wars stuff in TVC, which is a line that is pretty predominantly original trilogy, especially with the return to Tatooine and all that stuff last year. So if you want to see some stuff in the TVC line, definitely go check out. They do have some parameters. They do ask you to try to not make all your picks like repaints. They really try to focus this on character picks that would require new tooling. So if we can get characters that would require the team to have to do new tooling for Star Wars, get them in there. So you have until midnight tonight. Check out the Linktree link right here. It's the top link on the SWTVC Linktree, and now I have to stop my screen share and show the other one here. Top link right here. Submit your March Madness top 25. Do it. It's super easy. It's free to do. It's not hard to do. Shout out TVC Trev. Just submitted his list a couple minutes ago. Good. I know Hal Runner definitely put Kazuda Ziono as number 1 on his list.
Gross.
Yep, gross indeed. But yeah, I just wanted to give that a shout out. Guys, make sure that you submit your TVC March Madness top 25 picks. Make your voice heard, just like everybody did for Black Series Most Wanted. I want to make sure everybody does that. let's move on to the second announcement here. I want to give a shout out to these guys because I always give a shout out to these guys. Shout out to our guys over at Carbonites. Shout out Vincent. Shout out Carbonites. Here's the website right here. They also have an Instagram page. You can check them out on Instagram. But if you want to go buy yourself some Carbonites, especially if you live in the continental United States, we had a couple new cases drop this month. So we had a U.S. Postal Service set drop here. Shout out Commander Cook. I know he picked up one of those. But we also had 2 new sets inspired by Battlefront 2005. So the first one here is the Separatist Soldiers OG. And we'll take a look here. You guys can still see this, right?
Yep.
Perfect. Yes.
So we have this one here. It includes the designs inspired by the base 6 classes from Battlefront 2 2005. You get one that looks like a super battle droid. You get our sniper. You get our heavy weapons expert, our engineer. Then you get the one with the Magna Guard and the droideka here as well. Really cool set. Of course, $1 of every single case goes to a charity of your choosing based on a list of charities provided on the Carbonites website. $15 free shipping. I'd say that's a pretty damn good deal myself. And then on top of that, too, we got another case to complement. We have the Space Battle Assault here with some other unique looks inspired by Battlefront 2 2005 that are not included in just the base like planetary missions. These ones are more specific to the space missions, the Starship missions. So just wanted to give that a shout out here. Definitely go check those out. I did get both of these cases, the 2 from the inspired cases of Battlefront 2, the Space Battle and the Separatist Soldiers. So you can expect some short form content on those coming out on the channel in the next probably week or so here. But yeah, so I just wanted to make sure I gave a shout out there. Definitely go check out Carbonites. It's just, you can just Google Carbonites, and it'll be the first thing that pops up when you Google it. They got all kinds of cases spanning across all different media formats. And then make sure you go get some Carbonites, give them some support. And then our last totally not sponsor here, because if we were sponsored, this would be done much more professionally. But I did also want to give a shout out to our friends over at Cube Squadron. Head over to Kickstarter, go support Cube Squadron. They are over 1,000 backers on the Kickstarter right now. Getting notified and following this Kickstarter is free to do. It does not require any payment. It does not require any, subscription or anything like that. You just are basically following a newsletter. So you can sign up. They'll give you email alerts if, the next stage of the production begins. I know that they are releasing another cube, the final cube of the set, the 7th and final cube at 1,500 followers. They're already well on their way. We've already passed the 1,000 mark. You can check out the most recent episode of the Sarlacc Digest Toy Chest Monday show, where we actually had Cassidy on with us, the guy who is creating Cube Squadron, and he revealed one of their latest cubes right there on our show. It was really, really cool. But as you can see,
awesome.
They're super cool. Scott, I'll give you the floor for this one a little bit if you want to just jump in, because this is a super cool project, and obviously we got the opportunity to talk to him last week.
We did, and the release of the Yavin, or the skies above Yavin battle scene, just absolutely incredible. The fact that you can put in there at, I think he had 13 different ships in that cube at a time. It was incredible.
Yeah.
And the little accessories that allow you to attach the ships to the back that are all modular. The thing is so well thought out. And, talking to him about the inspiration behind the cubes and everything it was a really cool idea. And just what a great dad. He did this so his son had play sets.
Yeah.
Places to put his stuff. So awesome. Just incredible. And I know that he's currently working all the kinks out before they launch this Kickstarter. And you got to give it to him, man. He wants to make sure that everything is just perfect before it's launched. So I am a supporter. I think that everybody should follow this guy and jump in on this Kickstarter before it's too late.
Most definitely. Yeah, so I did want to make sure that I gave a shout out here. They're already at 1,047 followers. Help get Cube Squadron to that magic number of 1,500. They're going to begin production probably shortly after they get to 1,500. So, that's pretty much all I have on that. I just wanted to make sure we did some little announcements, little housekeeping stuff that I plug pretty frequently here on Blitz Transmissions. I didn't think that it deserved, or deserved. It definitely deserved a spotlight, but I didn't think it needed like a whole like introduction like I usually give when we're talking about these topics on the stream. Let's catch up with the chat a little bit here. We got my boy Bebart in here. Good evening over in the UK. You got Shelf Life, definitely not watching football right now. We've also got Darth Moocher in the chat. Shout out that guy. Hashtag finish the Bad Batch in TVC. You better believe all the remaining members of the Season 1 crew are on my TVC Top 25, Omega included. Let's see who else we have in here. We got Scott Hintz in the chat as well. And then we have a little guy here. Heavy Assault Collectibles, 1731. Why is it taking Hot Toys so long to come out with Old Republic Troopers? They have some of the best looking armor in Star Wars, in my opinion. I'd get one. I mean, I did get Darth Malgus for Hot Toys, and he's probably going to release here shortly, so I'd be down. Yeah. But let's get moving. Let's get right along. So the first portion of the stream before we get into the real meat and potatoes of our big discussion topic this stream is just going to be rifling through some toy news, toy reveals, which we actually had a lot of this month. When I kind of put the slideshow together, I was like, wow, that's actually a lot more than I thought there would be. A little bit more pressing news than reveals. This is a little more in the rumor mill side of things. I want to direct everyone's attention over to my favorite resource for information on Star Wars toys, which is yakface.com. Make sure you go check him out. Check him out on Instagram. Check out his website. And we have some info on the 2026 master list. So if you go to the base, site for the website, it's right over here, this little pop-up 2026 master list. And then you scroll down here, you have one for Black Series. I have it pulled down, but it is like a drop down like this. We do also have one for TVC, Retro, and we have one for Actionverse, which is the new Epic Heroes line. I had to stop myself from gagging, Scott. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
We have our list of all the different assortments for the different cases, the different waves for this line. But then we have our little intercepted transmissions, Black Series rumors here. And, I was like, that's weird that it's blank until you highlight some text here. And we have some figures here that, might be coming out perhaps in the Black Series sooner rather than later. So the first one here is Kanan Jarrus in his Rebels Season 3 and 4 appearance. That's why it says blind there from Star Wars Rebels. I have heard contradicting information on this one. I know that Kanan has been on rumor lists for quite some time now, but I have heard conflicting information that he's been thrown on the back burner. So I don't know if what's going to happen with this. I guess only time will tell. But I would definitely get it. I would be all in on a figure like this, Scott.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Kanan's the GOAT, and I think also because the original Kanan figure for Black Series is a little dated articulation wise to today's standards. He's got the pinned double knees, the elbows can't bend very far. It looks fine in an idle stance, but you can't really get him into those poses you'd want a more dynamic Jedi to get into. Hunter, is this Kanan something you'd be interested in?
Probably not.
What a shocker! I can't believe Hunter wouldn't be.
What?
Give me the original blind Jedi. Give me Ram Koda, and I'll buy him.
Ram Koda is a good one too. Shout out Carbonites. He has him on his TVC top 25 for March Madness. We got what's up, Toy Main? What's going on? We also got CT9973. That's a great profile picture there. Jeez.
I will defend myself a little. I do have Kanan in 3 3/4 inch in the Ghost.
Yeah. Well, that's different.
That's a great figure.
Yeah.
So
but then,
I'm of the mind that if they're doing a TVC figure, there should be a Black Series counterpart.
I agree.
You're already working on the tooling. Just scale that shit up and let's go. Right?
I think vice versa as well.
Yeah.
Well,
if they make a Black Series, it should be in TVC as well.
Yes. Balance the scales, Hasbro. Which I found out recently. Balance the scales doesn't necessarily mean getting characters in both lines. It means giving proportionate representation to TVC and Black Series. According to Mr. Stevie, he did a live stream recently on his YouTube channel. Check that out if you want some insight on how Hasbro looks at things in the Star Wars world. Next up here, though, on our rumor list, we have the 11th Brother Inquisitor. We don't know if this is going to be marketed as a Tales of the Jedi or Maul Shadow Lord release. The 11th Brother is the one with the big beak mask from
That thing is awesome.
the one that Ahsoka cuts down to get her purified lightsaber crystals. That is one I would absolutely get. I'd love to see. I think it'd be an easy figure for them to make too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then of course we have the TK Trooper. Now I know people are going to be fist bump in the air right now. People really want to see the TK Trooper come to Black Series, come to TVC. We'll talk about it later, had that Hot Toys reveal for the TK Trooper. So I would love to see this much needed army builder originally from the Bad Batch make his way into the line. Scott, would you be interested in this? Because I know it's very heavily drawn on the Ralph McQuarrie designs for the Stormtroopers.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, honestly, any trooper, especially a Stormtrooper variation, is I'm in, and it's a really dynamic look too. It's like that natural progression between Clone Trooper and Stormtrooper. So I dig it. I really do. So it's one of those that, again, let's go vintage collection. Let's go. I'm ready.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. I think that's like, especially with the Republic gunship, it'll be such a miss if they don't release the TK Trooper in proximity to the gunship coming out, because we see so many of them loaded up in gunships in Bad Batch and now also in Maul Shadow Lord.
Yeah.
Would you guys like to see them in the like Forward Trooper like army builder? They had like maybe the one that was different was like the goggles and poncho.
I'd be down for that. Yeah.
I could actually see them doing a 4-pack of just troop builders all together, and then having that one with the goggles and the poncho on an individual card back.
True.
Card.
So yeah.
Yeah, Max Rebo wants to know, will the TK be an all-new sculpt or the 2020 Stormy? I would be very disappointed if it was the Stormtrooper sculpt, because that would be completely inaccurate. If it was just the Imperial Stormtrooper. So I would expect an all-new sculpt head to toe. Maybe they could redo the shoes, like reuse the boots. So those are pretty plain.
I would hope for an all-new figure. But the way they take shortcuts sometimes, you never know.
Yeah. And then of course we have a couple from Mando and Grogu. Now, this next one, I don't know how I feel about this here. We have a multi-pack of Grogu and some Anzellans from the Mandalorian. Grogu. That would be for like, little Johnny running down the Walmart aisle, I guess. It's like, get Grogu and bunch of little Anzellans, but otherwise I don't think I would be very happy about this, especially because the IG-12 we just got last year came with Grogu and 2 Anzellans.
And that's it, right? It depends on what else it might come with. I mean, it looks like they have a mouse droid that they're riding around in. If it comes with a little mouse droid or some sort of vehicle or accessory that can be included with it, I mean, it's going to be a $27.99 figure pack anyway. You might as well put $27.99 worth of crap in it, right? Because otherwise it's like that Grogu that we got individually packed a couple of years back, where he came with his pram and really nothing else at full price. Total waste of money. So, but if it doesn't have accessories, I'm completely out.
Yeah, especially if it's like that full $27.99 price point. Ouch.
Yeah.
That'd be a tough sell. But and then of course we have this one, actually really excites me. A deluxe Rhoda the Hutt from Mando and Grogu. Dude, give me a buff Hutt. Give me him with the 6-pack abs. Dude, I'm all in, man. I'd be all for that, especially because it would require some sort of new tooling. I doubt they would just reuse Jabba for something like this.
I don't think there's a part on Jabba they could really use.
No.
It would have to be completely new tooling.
Dude, I'd be all down for this. 100%. Yeah. 100%.
And then who knows? Maybe we'll get a Zero the Hutt eventually.
Dude, Mama, give me the abs. I want the washboard abs, Mama.
Oh my God.
Hunter, would you be in on Rhoda?
Bro, I don't know. Maybe, because it's kind of wacky. I might. I don't know. I hope he comes with a protein shake.
Dude, yes. Give him some dumbbells, protein shake, some creatine.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I'm all in.
I don't know if
dude.
I'm in on it, but I want to see it. If I see it and it's impressive, I might pick it up, but I might wait for Vintage Collection if they go that route.
Speaking of Vintage Collection, might be worth going and seeing if they have similar treatment for the Vintage Collection with these little intercepted transmissions, huh?
I just did, and they don't.
Ah,
I know.
Dang.
I was like, ooh, nope. Just a lot of TBDs.
Ooh, yeah,
Yeah.
intercepted transmissions. Nothing.
Not at all.
Little creature, $70 creature. That could be maybe an Acklay or a Reek.
From Mudhorn.
Yeah, Mudhorn. Yeah.
What is this strength that is $55.99? Fan
For
channel
TVC?
Amazon Web. Yeah,
Probably
$55.99 strength.
for TVC.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I looking at Black? I might be looking.
You might be looking at Black Series.
No, it's TVC. It's near the bottom. You've got Wave 2 in March, Wave 3, and Wave 2 has an Ares CR creature for $69.99.
Yep.
Keep looking down. There's a Hecate, I think Hecate playset for who knows how much. Strength down below, fan channel Amazon Wave X, $55.99. Keep scrolling. You're almost there.
Oh, it's
Almost
not highlighted.
there.
That's why I couldn't find it.
Yeah,
Maybe that'll be some sort of. That's probably some sort of vehicle set, I would imagine.
I would think so.
Maybe like Count Dooku and his speeder from Attack of the Clones.
Ooh.
That's pretty pricey for a $55.99 for a little speeder and a Count Dooku figure.
Well, how much was the Biker Scout and speeder bike from a couple years ago?
Like $40. So
Okay.
maybe
with the price hikes, yeah,
yeah,
that'd be a shame, wouldn't it?
yeah. But
I hope they do the forward command post thing for the.
Oh,
the
that would be
gunship.
cool.
pretty cool.
Yes, dude. Yeah,
That'd be pretty cool.
It's
With
literally
a
just
Yoda or
frisbee.
something.
Yeah, it's just a frisbee, but I would totally be down for that.
Dude, give me a Yoda and a clone commander with the yellow markings.
Yes, dude.
That'd be sweet.
Nice.
Yeah, the
I'm in.
speeder and creature sets are $44.99. So
Okay, so
yeah, maybe with the new
$55.99.
pricing. Oh, that'd be such a shame. But okay, well, we're gonna move right along. That was our little rumors thing. So make sure you pay attention to yakface.com. He's got some good information, good insight for if you're into the rumor mills, if you're into maybe having things spoiled for you and such. Blind Canaan is a great offering, but it's not an insta-buy for me personally. It's an eventual pickup. Okay. All right, Mooch. I'm never doing another show with you ever again.
Insta buy for me.
Yeah. Oh,
any
same.
Kanan figure, I'm in. So
Oh, yeah. So I've got some slides that I created. Like I said, I was trying to, level up the quality of the live streams that we do. So I was like, you know what? Let's talk about how to maybe spice up our. What the hell? Oh, this is a separate window. God, Troglodyte Tommy strikes
what?
again, doesn't he?
Troglodyte.
Troglodyte Tommy. Here we go. Check it out, guys. Look at these awesome slides. So we're going to go over some reveals from this month. We're going to breeze by these because if you want to hear like my in-depth thoughts or Scott's in-depth thoughts on, this kind of stuff, then you could check out my live reactions live stream. We also did our toy chest the same day as the Hasbro Star Wars fan stream earlier this month, which is where these reveals came from. But Black Series got its latest fan channel wave, first of which being Watto. For some reason, he's a Phantom Menace specific Watto and Attack of the Clones packaging. Not sure what's going on with that. But yeah, I picked up two of these. One for my Phantom Menace display and one for my new display I'm creating for my room, which is the Black Series Most Wanted display. So any characters that make the top 12 for Black Series Most Wanted, if they eventually get made, I will buy an extra one to put up my Black Series Most Wanted shelf for all the winners.
hopefully that'll be a full shelf pretty soon.
I know, dude. I really want it to be. Hunter, where are we sitting on Watto here? I know this is not really a character that interests you very much.
Well, I think he's cool. It's just we'll get into it later, but I collect so many different things that there's some things I have to like limit on. And like Watto is kind of one of those things where, like, I think he's cool, but it's not like a must-have for me.
Yeah.
Although, I don't know if do you think they'll do a running change with that packaging, or do you think we're stuck with it?
I don't know. I'm going to be real, man. I think it's just going to be this way with the Attack of the Clones packaging. I don't see them,
Okay.
doing a second run with Phantom Menace colors, which sucks.
The only other reason I would have probably gotten them is for an autograph opportunity, because that's another way I, will still buy a figure that I wouldn't have on my shelf. But if there's, an actor that goes to a lot of cons, like, I can't remember his name, but the voice of Watto was at ICC last year. So, I mean, if I could have got his autograph, it would have been cool. But I'm like, it bothers me with the packaging being mislabeled.
Yeah, I agree. But I think this is a definitive release. It has the fluttering wings. You got the Chance Cube, the data pad, the cane. The flight stand blew me away. Yes, we got Stone Mando, Andy Succombi. Yes. What's up? Stone Mando, of course, his ears were ringing because we had Watto on screen. His favorite character. But yeah, so this is one. It's already out. If you want to pre-order it now, he's available. Fan channel, meaning Hasbro Pulse, Big Bad Toy Store, all your other fan sites like GameStop and all that. Maybe not GameStop for too much longer though, huh?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Maybe not.
$27.99 at most of your major retailers. I picked up two. Scott's gonna get one. Hunter is passing on this, but yeah, super cool figure nonetheless. The second reveal they had at the fan stream, probably my favorite one,
dude,
from the fan
That one's
stream.
cool.
This peak Geonosian warrior here, absolutely amazing figure. Again, fluttering wings, all four wings that articulate individually. We also have the standing wings, the flight stand, the sonic blaster. This figure is amazing. And I, unfortunately, because I have to limit myself when it comes to Black Series, I'm only getting one because we'll talk a little later when we talk TVC. I'm going to be getting more than one Geonosian for TVC.
Does this one come with fluttering wings? I didn't see the fluttering wings on it. I just saw the static wings like those.
Yeah, so if you look at the box on the left of the photo here, he has the just like standing wings have a different paint effect to them.
Oh, okay.
Where it's more of that brownish color, and then you can actually see behind under the tray that holds the sonic blaster and the figure, you can see the fluttering wings there.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good eye. I did not catch that. Very cool.
Yeah, just the engineering on this guy and Watto, amazing. But Hunter, I would definitely want to give you the floor to talk about these, because this is your time to shine, man. Scott and I have exhausted a lot of our conversation on these.
I was gonna say, to redeem myself as a Star Wars figure fan, I pre-ordered 8 of these.
Whoa.
And a huge thing for me is the second battle of Geonosis in the Clone Wars. So I'm like,
oh yeah,
dude, I'm getting an army of these things. And then if they make Sun Fac, if they make what's his name? They just made him in TVC. Escapes me.
Poggle the Lesser.
Poggle the Lesser, yeah. If they make him, I need him for those Geonosis scenes, that second battle. So this is incredible to me. The flight stand is awesome, and the figures look incredible. And I'm sure that they pose really well. I mean, they showed a couple promo shots of them, like that blaster and everything that they're holding. Mm-hmm. They can actually hold it really well. I'm like beyond excited to get these in hand.
Yeah, I've just so floored by this figure. Every time I see promo shots pop up on my feed, I get so excited all over again. Just because with Watto, for me, like, I was expecting like a flight stand and fluttering wings. I would have been fine without either on this Geonosian. I honestly was never expecting either. Maybe one or the other, and to get both included and not have him be a deluxe figure, absolutely amazing. Yeah, it really blew me away.
I am personally on the fence with Watto, honestly, because
really?
I open all of my Black Series. So right here is all I've got in front of me. I am not hesitating with this one though. The Geonosian Warrior is epic. So,
100%. Yeah, there's not a whole lot else for me to say on this one, because we've talked so much throughout the month. This reveal's a few weeks old by now. I don't want to dwell on these too much. But again, $27.99, fan channel and Amazon. He's up for pre-order right now. I recommend Big Bad Toy Store. That's always my recommendation. That's not a sponsorship or anything. I just like them the most when it comes to their service. So we'll move on to the third and final member. Go ahead, Hunter.
The only thing I have to add onto this is please give me a repaint by painting them like gray with white eyes and make them a zombie Geonosian.
Yes, and then do some damaged, rotting wings. Yeah.
Yep. Give me some of that, and then I'll buy that. Make it a Halloween figure, whatever you got to do. I'll buy them, dude.
That's like a legit Halloween figure too. I mean, you don't have to really, you don't have to decorate them up too much. Just make them look like a zombie. Yep, good call.
Yeah, that's super cool. And then our third and final member of the fan channel wave that was revealed earlier this month is Taun We, also from Attack of the Clones. Taun We is great. She also shows up in the Bad Batch, where we find out she meets her demise at the hands of, I believe it's Fennec Shand that kills her, because Fennec and Cad Bane kind of battle it out on that abandoned Kaminoan outpost, because it's Cad Bane that brings Omega there. And then Fennec Shand kind of fights Cad Bane for Omega. This figure for me is really awesome. I'm super excited to see this join the Black Series. I think Kaminoans are such a great silhouette for the specifically Attack of the Clones and like the Clone Wars era. Taun We is a great place to start. I really like the use of the soft goods here. Hunter, are you picking this up, a fellow cloner?
Oh, I'm picking this up. 100%. I might get two. I might get one to open, and then I might get one for the Rena Owen autograph.
Yes. I did get to meet Rena Owen last year at ICCCon in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and that was very, very awesome. She's a very nice lady. She ended up giving me a free photo with her as well, because I gave her my paint pen that I had her autograph the figure with, and she was so excited because I had brought a white paint pen to have my original 2002 action figure signed. And she apparently didn't have a white paint pen, and she was like kicking herself all weekend that she didn't have a white paint pen. So I was like, well, hey, I'm not going to use this again. Do you want it? She was like, oh, have a free photo. I was like, yeah. So cool. Got to take a picture with Rena Owen.
Nice.
So she's super nice. I hope she comes back to ICCCon again, or she gets invited back, I should say. But yeah, so this is the other one. $27.99, fan channel and Amazon. And then, of course, I'm really excited to hear Hunter's thoughts on the next one. We had one more Black Series reveal on the fan stream earlier this month. Our next deluxe figure for the Black Series line is going to be Lord Starkiller from The Force Unleashed. Hunter, how are we feeling about this? If you want to see my reaction live, you can go check out the live stream or the YouTube short that I had posted about this. But Hunter, go right ahead.
This is the easiest purchase of any of these, even the Geonosian. I'm not getting 8 Star Killers, but this is the easiest one. I'm getting at least 2 of them. One is going to have to be a Sam Witwer auto, and the other one I'm just, I have a gaming Star Wars shelf. So I have the original Star Killer, Cal Kestis, that kind of stuff. And man, he's going to go right with them. Really awesome. And Jackson made a really good point on your stream, Tommy. I thought about it when it first, when they first showed all the lightsabers. I'm like, why would they include all of those?
Yeah.
But then I forgot that in the game, you can in games like Fallen Order, you can customize your lightsaber. Mm-hmm. But in Force Unleashed, you could swap it out for different lightsabers completely. And then I'm assuming that's what they're representing here. I know he has some clipped on his belt, spare ones, but yeah, that's really cool. And the extra hands too, man, those big old hands, those claws.
Yeah, Force hands. Yeah, this one blew me away. I thought, because I know when the way that they shot the fan stream, they were 1 lightsaber, 2 lightsaber, 3 lightsaber, and they hadn't panned down. So I was like, Pong Krell? All these lightsaber blades, and I saw they were all red, and I was like, what are they doing? Once I got past 4, I was like, what could they possibly be showing off? And I honestly, I've heard some people say that they don't like that it has 6 lightsaber blades when he can only have 2 in his hands at a time. And honestly, I'm glad, because I have had, over the years of collecting Black Series, so many lightsaber blades snap off of the lightsaber
Oh.
hilts, and the peg gets left in the hilt. So to have some
Mm-hmm.
extra lightsaber blades in case something like that happens, in case I need to gorilla glue my lightsaber blade to my lightsaber hilt, it's good to have those extras there. So this was a standout though. So many people are so excited for this guy.
I dig it, and I'm not a gamer. I've never been a gamer. Just ask Marco. I'm terrible at games. I don't like playing games. It's just not fun. But this figure to me is absolutely fantastic. I'm in on this figure. This one and the Geonosian. Those are the two I'll buy. The other two,
And not to mention the wired soft goods. I always forget
yes.
that this dude has wired friggin' soft goods, man. What a crazy, crazy figure. Yeah.
I think the only other thing with this that would have made it just over the top for me is if the blades were different colors. If they would, because like in the game you could change your lightsaber crystal color.
Okay.
Like if they would have had orange, purple, white, like if they would have had like all those different colors that you could like customize in the game, that would have been pretty cool. But red is obviously the standard for Star Killer, so that's the obvious choice.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. I was gonna say though, when they started saying like 6 blades, I immediately thought Am from Visions.
Oh, that would have been cool too.
I thought that's what I thought right off the bat.
Literally anybody from Star Wars Visions I would have picked up, though. There were so many crazy characters from there. Hey, shout out Riley Bob, being a Rancor Battalion channel member for 4 months now. Nice. And Hal Runner, Marco is the government name for Darth Moocher. That's it. I also think Hal Runner brought up a good point. No swoosh blades. Maybe for a deluxe figure, that would have been cool to include some swoosh blades in here as well. But I'm happy with what we have in the box. Now, here's the question, guys. So this has not gone up for pre-order yet. This will go up for pre-order on February 4th, as you can see here on the promo shot from the Hasbro Star Wars fan stream this month. The rumor has been, because we haven't had a new Black Series Deluxe figure come out since the last price hikes at the end of last year, the rumor was that the new price is going to be $39.99. Do you see $40 of value in the box for this? Because I'll let you guys answer first, and then I'll share my brief thoughts before we move on.
I'm gonna be a dick and say, because of the fact that I am not a game player, that kind of puts a little bit of a break on the insta buy.
Okay.
Thought. I mean, I know who Star Killer is. I've got the 3 3/4 inch figure of Star Killer. This looks awesome, but $40? I don't know. Maybe, but it's not insta buy now.
Okay. Hunter?
I think it'll be easier when we see like actual photos of the figure itself to see that kind of like finish on the sculpt. And like, I mean, we saw the photos from the stream, when they had it on the table, but I'd really like to see like how the figure actually looks other than just a render. And then, I mean, I'm still going to buy it. I mean, I'm such a shill for Star Killer and anything Force Unleashed. So, I mean, I'll begrudgingly still pay $40.
Yeah. Hey, shout out, we got Hero Collections in the chat. Wait till you see the images for this, Scott. It will be an insta buy.
Yeah. Cool. I bet the images are going to look crazy.
As soon as I see those images, maybe I'll change my mind, but we'll see.
Now here's where I'm at on this being, if it is the $39.99 price point, is I think what I see, if a regular figure is $28, so I'm basically, do I see $12 of value? So I think for one, the accessory count, the fact that all 6 lightsabers have actual like paint on the hilts and that they all have a lightsaber blade, obviously that by itself gives me more perceived value because I see a full box. The alt hands are also a big deal for me because most of your average Black Series figures don't come with that. So to get that on a figure like this is great. Now, what gets me is the wired soft goods. That to me is like a step up. And I think a big talking point, I forget, I definitely have talked about this on another live stream at some point. What gets me on this figure is we constantly are talking about how Black Series is like approaching the quality that import figures like SH Figuarts and Mafex have at the same scale. And when you look at like at the recent Mafex Forlom, is over $100 and he just comes with like 2 blasters and like 2 sets of hands, yes, it's an amazing figure and it's amazing. But there's so many people that just like handed over $100 for a 6-inch figure of 4-LOM like immediately without thinking. I think personally that it's just like this like stigma people have when they see the Hasbro logo with those higher price points, because we're so used to that mental conditioning of the quality of a Hasbro figure. So I would argue that like with this in particular, this is for me worth $39.99 because of wired soft goods, alt hands, and piece count in the box. This is approaching the same level of what you get with your average SH Figure Arts, which is like an $80-$90 figure right out the gate. Now, will I feel this way for every deluxe figure to come? That's to be decided. Like, I definitely wouldn't feel like Jedi Master Kel Naka was worth it at $40, you know?
Right.
Granted, I would probably feel like SM33 was worth it because of his whole transforming feature. He's got the different shields. He comes with a little stand. So I think it all depends on, like, what comes in the box. So, Scott, I saw you had something to say on this.
Yes. I'm going to play devil's advocate for just a second, okay? Yes, he looks great. He comes with 6 lightsabers and 2 extra hands. That's great. That's not something we get with Star Wars figures, as you said. However, I am also a G.I. Joe classified collector, and I know that Star Wars, they've got a licensing fee that they have to meet. You know, there are certain things that an average G.I. Joe figure comes with at the basic price level: extra hands, extra weapons, more features, more articulation in some points. They come with all of the stuff in your basic figure, which of course is now $27.99, right? It's it's no longer $20 like it was, you know, a year and a half ago. But I don't feel, weighing the two figures together, it's like, cool, this one comes with wired soft goods. That's neat. But otherwise, my average Joe comes with so much more. It's
right.
But I do love Star Wars more than I love G.I. Joe. So at the same time, I'm kind of torn, right? It's that added bonus feature of having the Star Wars logo on it, which is really jacking that cost up. Because otherwise, no, I don't think what comes in this box is worthy of a $40 price tag.
Yeah, and that's a good thing that you bring up that perspective, though, because I only collect Star Wars. So when I look at, like I brought up the example of 4-LOM, I guarantee most Mafex figures don't come with 2 blasters and 2 sets of hands. You know, especially when you look at other IPs. I have other Star Wars Mafex figures that come with plenty more than that at that same, you know, very elevated price point. So, you know, me as a Star Wars collector, you know, someone that exclusively collects Star Wars almost entirely, it's a different mindset. I'm already used to higher price for less. Whereas you look at your Marvel Legends, you look at your G.I. Joe, yeah, the regular price figure has a lot more perceived value in the box based on accessories a lot
especially
of times.
G.I. Joe. Marvel, not so much, but especially G.I. Joe.
Yeah. Good spit, Scott, Hal Runner says. Bly's weighing in. Wired soft goods on a figure like this is an excellent choice. I can't wait to see what Fig Fury does in his action figure photography. 100%, dude.
I was
Stu John says
sorry.
he will. No, I'm just going through chat here, Hunter. Stu John says he will buy it, but he doesn't know if it's actually worth $40. And then Bly says Hunter will buy it. He buys the 1,000 toys Halo figures. $40 is a joke to him. How much are 1,000 toys? They're like $200, right?
I get the exclusive version. So I was gonna bring this up.
Yeah.
When it comes to, like, first of all, I wanted to say, to go off of what I think Fig said, I love that Hasbro made the choice to make this figure into a deluxe instead of giving him like 2 lightsabers and nothing else, and like molded plastic instead of soft goods. Like, I'm glad that they decided for a deluxe figure they did this character choice.
Yeah,
because I feel like this is a character that, like, that, especially that look, that it deserves to be over the top and like that higher level of quality than just a standard release figure. So I do like that part of it. But I was also going to say, like, for me, I'm not like, we'll get into it later, talk about like collecting habits and stuff like that. But I'm not so much line focused as much as I am like a character focus. And a
Same,
big thing for
same.
me is like, I want the best version of a character, like in a figure form that I can. So like, man, sometimes I am a shill. I will say, if I want the best version, if it's out there, like, you know, what I was saying with the 1,000 toys, I get the exclusive version that comes with the chrome visor on the helmet on the trooper, and he comes with the extra weapons, and like, you know, those are expensive. Those are like $180 figure, and it's crazy, and it's not smart. I'm not saying it's smart, but you know, it's just like it would bother me if I bought like a Jazzware Spartan collection for $25, and I just went, yeah. I keep telling myself I'm happy with it, but then I look and see that there's a 1,000 toys version out there that I could have, but I don't know. For me, this is a must. I have to get it. So even if they had like, you know, $50 on it, I'd probably still buy it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Scott, are you pulling this guy up here, Leonardo?
Oh no, I was just he was about to fall over and he
okay.
his ankle. But these are great figures. These NECA turtles are great. So
yeah. I need to get those Super 7 turtles. That's what I want. It's like a set of 4. Those Super 7 turtles.
No, these are actually great. I my favorite version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is the Nickelodeon show that came out mid 2000s. It's the digital animated version.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sean Astin was like the voice of Raphael, I believe, and it's a great figure. And NECA just released ultimate versions of these figures, so my wife got me a couple of them, and I bought the other 2. And I'm like, they're a little place of honor now, but they're great figures. So
sweet.
If we're taking a tangent, there we go. There's my tangent. And, those figures now were $40 a pop, right? And those figures came with 5 or 6 different hands, a separate mutant, all sorts of different weapons, different heads, and they're great articulation and everything. So
yeah.
I feel that that's a perceived value that really, it was an insta buy for me. So
totally, yeah. I got so everybody keep a lookout. This guy comes out, Hasbro Pulse, Fan Channel, Amazon, February 4th, 1 p.m. Eastern. If you want to make sure you don't miss the heads up, maybe you're at work or something, join the Blitz Transmissions Discord. Link in the description below. Myself. We have Commander Cody's Vault in the chat. Josh, we have Hunter in here. We have people that will make sure that you're taken care of. We send an @everyone ping. We usually do a Big Bad Toy Store link and an Amazon link, like right out the gate when these pre-order links drop. So if you don't want to miss the heads up on this pre-order, if you don't want to forget about it, make sure you join the Blitz Transmissions Discord. Link in the description below. With that, we'll move right along. We're moving on past Black Series because, again, these reveals are a few weeks old. We don't really need to talk too much other than like speculative talk on like price, things like that. We're gonna move into TVC. TVC got a new 4-pack.
Finally, the new good 4-pack stuff.
Hey, I might be with you on this. We'll talk about it later on the stream. But yeah, so we have TVC here. They got a new 4-pack. This 4-pack has been teased since San Diego Comic-Con.
I think so, yeah.
Dude, it's been like ages since they teased this. Finally, we got all 4 members of this 4-pack revealed. We have Labria. Make sure you don't typo him. We talked about this on the SWTVC channel yesterday.
Make sure you get that R in there.
Do not typo Labria. Looks amazing. We got Garen Dan, the Imperial Spy. We got Chalman, the owner of the Cantina. And we also got the big man himself. The shoes is loose.
The big man that nobody gave a damn about until he was teased in the Cantina and suddenly wasn't coming.
So this pack is going to go up for pre-order this week. I believe it's Wednesday. It is going to be the January 28th, 1:00 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be on Hasbro Pulse and Disney Store. I think this is probably going to sell out pretty quickly. So again, if you want to make sure you get the heads up on this pre-order link, we will make sure we have you covered in the Blitz Transmissions Discord. We'll send an @everyone ping with a link to Hasbro Pulse, probably also on Disney Store when it goes up. Mm-hmm. We usually make sure, even though this isn't something that I'm picking up, I definitely want to make sure everybody's taken care of that does want this pack. So, Scott, how are we feeling? Because I know this is probably something that's more up your alley, whereas Hunter and I, we don't really care so much for the TVC Cantina scene so much. So for you, how are you feeling on this being a Star Wars action figure veteran?
I'm veteran. I like that. It's better
veteran.
than saying I'm old. I'm a veteran. I like
Being an old head. Yeah.
an old head. Yes. No, I love this set. I mean, I really do. Labria is one of those figures that he first came out in a cinema scene back in the, I want to say 96,
I think
97.
it's either
something like
96
that.
or 98. Yeah, one of the two.
Okay. And that was a great set, but that was still back in the time of 5 points of articulation, plastic capes, the whole bit. Labria
Right.
looks fantastic. Garandon, same thing, right? It took a long time for us to get a Garandon, and to get one with the super articulation, absolutely fantastic. Chowman, I never thought we would get. It's a great figure based on a Ralph McQuarrie painting. That right there alone puts me 100% in.
Yeah.
Ariel Schus is Ariel Schus. He's cool. He's an alien. I'll take it. So yeah, I am absolutely in and happy to put these in the cantina.
So, Scott, we talked about yesterday on SWTVC's stream. This is not going to be one of those packs where each character is individually carded. It's going to be one of
Right.
those like special action figure sets.
Very
Okay.
reminiscent of the 70s and 80s, back whenever we were originally collecting, we'd get those sets. Yeah.
How do you feel about it not being individually carded figures? Because that was like a big topic of discussion on our stream yesterday.
Honestly, it doesn't bother me because we had those packs growing up, right? Those multi-packs that came with the solid color background and the cool artwork on the outside. Doesn't bother me at all. So, and I've actually got several of those collections in my toy room as well. They're just kind of up in a shelf. So
Okay.
it'll go right next to that, and I'll have one I'll rip into it. Honestly, and another reason is I'm running out of peg space to put my figures in, because I pegged them all up on the wall carded,
Yeah.
and I'm quickly running out of peg space. So some things, rather than take things off and put them in storage, I'm happy to have these in a nice flat box. That works.
Okay. We had a lot of discussion about this on the SWTVC stream yesterday, and I would recommend you just go watch it. People watching here, if you want to hear like our full discussion. I'm not going to get like too into the weeds, but it seems like people are pretty 50-50, because I think some people will probably be a little frustrated if these start to roll out later on with those, single carded versions, because this was kind of like a dangerous precedent that we were kind of talking about with TVC, where last year, for example, we had that Imperial Trooper 3-pack with like the Sand Trooper, Snow Trooper, and was it Biker Scout?
Yes.
And then they like very soon after released that Snow Trooper Commander on a single card. Hunter, I remember, was mad about how close in proximity those two releases came out.
And then you had the 500 first 3-pack that also came out, and then all of those figures were also released on individual cards, I believe, as well, weren't they?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm still stuck with a Sand Trooper and a Scout Trooper that I have nothing to do with. I don't know where I'm gonna put them. I'm gonna try to sell them at ITC Con, I guess, for a couple bucks.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but
I might take those off your hands there, Hunter.
Ooh, there we go. Now my thing is, I just a big thing on Mr. Stevie's recent stream that he did on his YouTube channel was he talked about the reason that TVC has less made than Black Series when it comes to characters, when it comes to releases. It's about a 2-to-1 ratio. Black Series gets about twice as much as TVC does per year.
Mm-hmm.
He keeps bringing up the point of like, we need to grow TVC in order for it to get more releases. So basically it needs to produce more sales in order for them to want to put more budget into TVC. I don't think that taking mainline slots with repacked characters is the way to go about that. I think you're shooting yourself in the foot if you're doing these multi-packs where the characters are not carded. And, we had some debate yesterday, some disagreement on it. But that's just my personal take. If you guys agree or disagree, let me know. Is I would much rather them do characters like this, like a Mandalorian multi-pack, Clone Trooper multi-pack. I'd rather them do a Stormtrooper multi-pack. All figures that I have in TVC.
The named characters.
That I'm going to open up anyway, that I would want to buy multiple of anyway. I don't care if a Clone Trooper or a Mandalorian troop builder is on a single carded look. I would much rather have those in the army builders, and then you can do things like your named characters, your Garandan, your Arleal Shus, go on those single carded appearances. That's kind of my thoughts. I think that would be a better way to grow the line because you're
Yeah.
guaranteeing more sales with those army builder sets. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I just, again, it doesn't bother me because we had these multi-packs that the figures also came out individually whenever we were younger. So I'm kind of I'm 50-50 on it myself. I'm split down the center. So
Yeah.
I'll still get them if they come out individually carded. I just
Right.
won't buy multiples. I'll get one for the wall. And
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
Hunter, where are you at with that?
I don't know. I definitely feel like it's like they're playing a safe option.
Yes.
Like knowing that, like, I'm not going to say older collectors, but I'm going to say adult collectors want those variants of cards and different
Veteran.
You know what I'm saying, though. They're kind of like
Seasoned
catering to
collector.
a safe option with their their market audience. You know what I mean? Is what it seems like.
Yeah,
They're kind of going for that guaranteed dollar. Is what it seems like.
Yeah, and I just think that if you're going to do it right the first time. Give the buyer confidence that you're going to do it the right way the first time, And Riley Bob brings up a good point too. This was kind of where the conclusion we came to yesterday was, if anything, the space between releases needs to be bigger. The single releases should not be in the 2026. Exactly. Individual carded figures more than multi-packs is, and that's another thing too.
I prefer it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't want to get too in the weeds on it, but we'll move right along. This, again, goes up for pre-order this Wednesday. If you want to get a heads up, join the Blitz Transmissions Discord. We'll make sure that you get taken care of with those pre-order links. Moving on, we had a retro collection reveal at the fan stream as well. Scott, we have the Yavin Ceremony Leia being added to the next lineup of... is it R4M9, CZ3, and Garen Dan are the other three that they've already revealed?
Right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm in. My primary collection is vintage.
Mm-hmm.
I've got every single vintage figure and vehicle, and I love these because they just fit right in place. They belong with that set. I'm 100% in on these. So
yeah, this isn't my thing, Hunter. I know you don't really have a comment to make on this either, but I know that the general consensus is people would rather have something like this than a repack of a figure that already exists in
100%.
Yeah.
Especially a remake of a true vintage figure, right? I mean, if they wanted to re-release who did they do before, the Rebel Trooper or the Rebel it was a Rebel Trooper that came out from the Tantive. That would not bother me as much, but if it's, a Han or a Luke or something from before, no, pass.
Right.
Expand that line.
So there's two more characters that are going to come out for this 6-pack. I know they've been kind of drip feeding the reveals, so maybe we'll see another one or maybe both of them in February, because I'm assuming there's going to be another fan stream in February. They've been doing a great job of doing the fan streams monthly. But yeah, there's no pre-order date on this just yet. And that about wraps up the reveals from the fan stream. There is another 3 3/4-inch Star Wars line, though, that has really been coming out the gate swinging here in 2026. It is the Disney Parks Droid Factory line.
Those are cool.
Here we have Red Leader's astromech droid.
That's cool.
His name escapes me. Something R5K6? Is that it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, did I get that right? Let me know in the chat, guys. So. Yeah, so we have R5K6 joining the Droid Factory line. He's already out, so people already have him in hand. Scott, did you pick this guy up?
No, I didn't even know these existed until we were already like 3 droids deep into the releases. So I'm gonna hopefully, thank you, sweetie. I'm gonna hopefully get him whenever I get a chance. Look at this. We've got it's Life Day Coffee. Life Day Coffee.
Life Day Chewy. Dude,
Yep.
I love that. Hey, R5K6. Thanks, Hal Runner. I did get it right.
Dude,
So no, I had no idea these were out, and now I'm scrambling. So
Yeah.
give me an X-wing for this guy. That's what I'm saying. Give me an
Ooh,
X-wing.
Red Leader X-Wing? Maybe we'll
There
get
you
one
go.
for the 50th anniversary in 2027.
I'll buy it, dude.
Yeah.
it'll only cost you $150.
Hey, and shout out to my goat, Phantom Menace Dennis, coming in with a $4.99 super chat.
Ooh, nice.
What's up, guys? Got here a little late. Glad to see everyone is surviving Snowmageddon. And, dude, Dennis,
rough.
you know, for
Rough
me
out
and
here.
Hunter, this is just another winter day. This is nothing. I mean, maybe for down south on the East Coast, it's a very big deal because they don't have preparations for winter weather. But for people like me and Hunter, yeah, it's just another day in January.
Dude, I'm getting ready to work outside all week in negative temps, dude.
There we go,
Ooh,
man.
God.
Yeah. You got soft hands, brother. You got soft hands. But we'll
Ain't
move
got
right
no roller
along.
dogs?
I got no roller dog. And we got some more Droid Factory. Like I said, they've been coming out the gate swinging. They have a new Build-A-Droid as part of their next wave here. This is
Oh, wow.
TC332. I don't remember where this guy is from. The droid looks familiar. Someone would have to refresh me in chat. Where I want to say
Is it like a
sequel
Senate
trilogy.
droid?
Yeah, I think you're right. It could be Senate droid. Yeah, some sort of
Like
diplomat.
a Senate? Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So this is the next Build-A-Droid here. Very nice
But
droid.
the problem is this droid, the parts come with the other droids that are in the set, right? So you get like a leg or something with the R5K6 figure,
Yeah,
right? So okay, all right, well,
yeah. So and then we have two more. So they're going to release one per month. It seems like. So a couple more that are coming are CU28 protocol droid. Which is, I think this is the Grief Karga protocol droid from Mando Season 3, if I recall.
okay.
He looks like a 501st protocol droid for TC332. Yeah. Speaking of 501st, we have a really cool deep cut Clone Wars figure here, which I love and I plan on getting. We have QTKT from the D Squad arc of the Clone Wars. She even has her little hazard signs painted on the top of her dome for the modifications that R2 and the rest of D Squad get when they go off with Colonel Meeber Gascon and meet Clone Commando Gregor. So this was
That's cool.
awesome. QTKT, again, being inspired by R2KT, who is for Katie Johnson, Albin Johnson's late daughter, which is really, that's the reason I'm getting this figure.
Yes.
Part of it obviously is Clone Wars, but part of it is because of, what the figure is about. So,
Represents.
yes, what it represents.
Great figure. Awful arc. I hate that. That is my least favorite arc in all of the Clone Wars. It is like going to the dentist and getting a root canal watching that damn thing, right? But that is a great figure. I like that a lot.
Yeah. I think these figures got their prices bumped from like 15 to 20 bucks, I want to say.
Oh, man.
And it's $10 shipping on Disney Store. So these are through Disney
See 'em
Parks.
on Disney Store.
So they're on Disney Store. Well, these ones haven't come out yet. So we have CU28 comes out in February, and then QTKT comes out in March. So I know that R5K6 is out right now. Michael Galupo is going to fight you on this, Scott. The droid arc is peak.
Peak.
Is George Lucas's favorite arc of the whole show.
I don't give a damn.
Yeah, and R5K6 seems sold out. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I didn't even have a chance. So.
And then we have another one that recently got revealed. This is DDBD. This is Dadbod droid. Dadbod here is the first droid that joins L337 in Solo in her rebellion on Kessel.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, I like it's an original sculpt. I like that it's something new, something that helps to flesh out the silhouette of the 3 3/4 scale. And I know that, a lot of TVC heads have been really excited about this kind of big return to Droid Factory at the beginning of the year. They've already revealed all these figures coming out once per month. So I am not going to get in on this myself.
Available.
I agree. I think QTKT is going to go quick too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. They're cool though.
Yeah, this might be the one that's stomping on the control board when they're taking over Kessel. I haven't watched Solo in a minute, so I don't really remember. But yeah, so again, we'll try and do our best with pre-order links on these guys in the Blitz Transmissions Discord. Obviously, it's a little bit more difficult to find these links and get people in the know than it is with Hasbro stuff and Hot Toys and all that, just because the Disney Store site can be really, really finicky at times.
I recommend getting the Disney Store app on your phone if you're going to do it on your phone.
Yeah. Yeah. And if anyone's going to the parks, let Hal Runner know. He'll
not until May.
But let me just check my slides here, because I think we have we do have one more toy thing to talk about here. And that's our Hot Toys reveal of the year. This is our first big Hot Toys reveal for 2026. We have the TK Stormtrooper. Now, this also gives a little bit more credence to the rumor that we talked about from yakface.com with the potential Black Series TK Stormtrooper, because we have a regular version, which is I think about $230, and then we have the special edition, which comes with the goggles and the poncho that we saw in Season 3 after Crosshair and Omega escaped from Mount Tantus. We have the special edition, which I think is like $270, I want to say. So about a $40 difference if you want the one with the poncho. This is exciting for me. This adds a little bit more credence to that rumor for yakface.com. And I really, really hope that we get this in both Black Series and TVC. I gotta say, though, not a fan of the way they did the leg armor on this figure. It's an eyesore to me. I don't know why.
You can cover it up with the poncho.
You can, yeah. It's like my one thing on this figure. I just can't get past. It just looks goofy to me. But
does he not have knee pads? It doesn't look like there's knee pads. I haven't really looked at the TK Trooper that closely.
No, so they don't have. It's like the Imperial Stormtroopers. They have the thigh armor like hangs over the knee when they're standing up. So it's kind of like the Stormtroopers. But again, for a lot of people, they're excited because this is so heavily inspired by the Ralph McQuarrie concept art for Star Wars. So a lot of people are picking this up just on that sole basis. But both versions are available on, for example, I get my Hot Toys through Sideshow.com. Both of the regular and special editions are currently available for pre-order. But yeah.
That poncho immediately makes me think of like 03 Clone Wars.
Yeah, Hawk Bat Battalion.
The Hawk Bat Battalion,
yeah.
Just a brown poncho over like a trooper in white armor is cool, man.
Yeah. A lot of people think the goggles are stupid, but I think they're cool. It's Star Wars, you know?
It reminds me of the Cobra Viper, right? Silver faceplate.
Yes.
He has goggles. It's like, why? Why do you need goggles over goggles? How bad is your eyesight that you need? Anyway, no wonder they miss everything.
Yeah. It looks cool, though. I mean, Hot Toys always knocks it out of the park. I like that they gave him the apparatus for when he's in his pilot look. There are these dudes that pilot Republic gunships and pilot like V-Wings in the Bad Batch and stuff, and a lot of those characters have on this little pilot apparatus on the front there. He comes with a decent selection of alt hands, couple blasters. I like the DC-15 with the scope on top. That's a cool. Yeah, that's cool. A cool inclusion. But yeah,
I will say it is cool now that there's it's kind of crazy how much like Bad Batch they've done for Hot Toys, and now the people who've gotten like the Commando with like the gray Imperial striping on it, now they have like another trooper to put next to it.
Yes,
so that's kind of cool. Like even if you had Scorch next to him too, it'd be kind of cool. So I don't know. I think it's pretty neat.
But on the vintage collection, I'm definitely not getting this, but I'm broke. I'm broke. So no, but we're getting all these Bad Batch figures through every other means, but not vintage collection. Right. And that's just frustrating as hell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think for me, it's just not something I'd be interested in regardless, just for Hot Toys. But I thought it was a little random. I was like, a Bad Batch release. That's a little out there. And then a week later, we'll talk about it at the end of the stream. We got that awesome Maul Shadow Lord trailer, that teaser trailer where we see plenty of TK Troopers. And I was like, that explains why the TK Trooper's coming out in Hot Toys now and why he's rumored on yakface.com for Black Series. There's Rusty.
There's Rusty.
The man himself. He's ready to steal the show.
Yep.
But, I'm definitely on your side, Scott, here with the Bad Batch for TVC. Man, I want them to do a HasLab Marauder.
Ooh.
Oh, it'd be so.
I
cool.
want that so
Yes,
bad.
dude.
I don't know it would pass, but I mean, I would back it. It's a
Dude.
great ship. It's a great ship. It's just, yeah. I don't know if there's. I don't stay online very much. I don't go online and message boards or anything, or message boards or social media that much. So I don't know. Is the Bad Bat, does it have a good enough following to where you think the Marauder would pass the HasLab?
I don't
That's
know,
such
dude.
a cool ship, man. And like
Yeah.
the shuttles, like the troop
Yeah.
carriers are so cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have another one here, Riley Bob's. There's 4 of us that would get one.
Yeah. Right there. Come on, Hasbro. Let's go.
But I am going to put this slideshow on hold because the next couple topics are not so much toy related. They're more like general Star Wars news, things like that. So I kind of usually save that stuff for the tail end. But I did want to talk about the title's sake of this stream, which is we're talking about comparing scales. This conversation kind of came up in conversation yesterday on the SWTVC channel when we were streaming there. And it kind of got my gears turning, and I had made some statements on that stream, and I was like, I kind of want to talk about this. So there's a couple different ways that I could have taken this conversation. One angle was, I think how do we grow TVC? I think that was I know we touched on it a little bit earlier in the stream, but it's like, how do we, per Mr. Stevie, apparently we need to grow TVC in order to get more releases and more things made. How do we do that? What are the right and wrong ways to go about that? Hey, Tops .375, what's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. And so it kind of got me thinking a little bit more because Hunter and I are kind of already in this boat. Scott, you've already been in this boat of kind of like, I made a video maybe almost a year ago now where I talked about, I've been collecting for like 5 years and my collecting habits have changed a lot in those last 5 years. And over time, my perception of the big 3, I'll call them, TVC, Black Series, and Hot Toys, I feel like those are the main 3. Everybody has their one, but everybody kind of like, knows of the big 3 Star Wars lines. Mm-hmm. Looking at how people collect, which one is the most enjoyable for us to collect right now. And I would argue my collecting habits are completely different than even 12 months ago. And, coming up on, it's funny, I made a video a year ago almost about, how much my collecting habits have changed in 5 years. I started collecting as an adult in 2019, and here we are in 2026, and my collecting habits are vastly different than they were in 2025. So I kind of wanted to open the floor to kind of, I'll let you guys go first, obviously. I'm gonna kind of open it up with the statement of, guys, I think TVC is kind of taken over for me right now. Because yeah. And then here's a guy. Shout out to this guy who's in my Discord. You got to cut the slop from the collection in the current economy. Yeah, and that's part of it too. Is kind of being a little bit more picky. So my thing is this: I've changed my habits in that I canceled 7 Hot Toys orders in the last month because as more things are happening with TVC, like for example that tease of the Sonic Blaster for the Geonosian that we got on the last Hasbro fan stream, I'm like, well, if I have $250 to spend, I would rather buy 10 or 12 TVC Geonosians for my gunship display than get one hot toy that I'm just going to put on a shelf probably by itself and touch and pose maybe once in a while. Whereas I'm going to be playing around with these TVC figures a lot more. You guys have seen my massive clone army that I'm still building, and how that's
so proud
going.
of you right now.
But it's kind of crazy, I feel like, Hunter, you can attest because we've been in a lot of the same like collecting circles.
Yeah.
I feel like a year ago, a lot of us were really turning our attention to Hot Toys a lot more. And I feel like since then, you and I both have really turned our attention to the 375 scale and TVC. So I'll stop yapping if anybody just kind of wants to jump in and share their thoughts.
I mean, I a couple of years back, I used to collect every single Black Series figure, every single vintage collection figure. And in many cases, I'd collect 2 of everything, right? One to open, one to keep on the wall. But then I realized that for me, and I've said it on the toy chest several times, for me, it's all about world building. And I can world build so much more with the vintage collection over the Black Series, right? I have subscribed to different 3D print channels like Landspeeder Luke. I had a subscription to him for a while. And now that I've got a good 3D printer, I'm now just the last 2 days, I've completely built 2 new play sets for my vintage collection.
Cool.
And it's, I've got the detention block now, and I've got a little piece of Hoth that I'm putting together. And if I feel like if we want to really make the vintage collection thrive, it is diving deeper into not necessarily unnamed characters, but side characters, aliens, things like that, bringing them back into the forefront. And, say what you will about like the sequels, but we have One Night of Ren. Why don't we have the Knights of Ren? Why don't we have the Bad Batch? It's time to start putting a little bit more thought and process and into the vintage collection and really diving deep in those character selections. And play sets never hurt, vehicles never hurt, but we've got to find a happy medium where the vehicles aren't $150 each, or we've got to find, if that means we've got to cut back in some ways with features or something. Okay. Today I just opened, I'm talking a lot, I'm sorry, but today I just opened up I just opened up a Y-Wing scout ship from Rebels line, right?
Okay.
It was a little, almost reminiscent of the mini rigs back in the day whenever I was growing up, where we had the little mini ISP or ISP-6, which was the kind of Lambda class shuttle. Smaller vehicles, things like that can go and enhance your displays, right? We don't need why the Millennium Falcon is now $300 to $400 if we want to get the big Millennium Falcon redone again. The X-Wing fighters are $140, $150 now if we want an X-Wing fighter. I don't know, man. I don't know where I personally don't see the value in them whenever I get the Luke Skywalker's X-Wing fighter and I, lock the S-foils into attack position and it sags. It can't even support the weight of the open wings. So I feel like we're spending a lot of money on stuff that just isn't worth the quality. So something's got to give. If you're going to give us lower quality, cut the prices. Yeah. If you're going to charge us X number of dollars, $150 for an X-Wing, make sure the friggin' wings stay in place, right? And give us some more characters, give us more play sets. I like the modular thing they've been doing in recent years, but like the modular Bespin set was just ridiculous. It looked like a skeleton on long legs, right? And but the hallway for the Tantive was really cool. You could make that thing as long as you want. The Moff Gideon Starship was a piece of crap. That thing is an awful set, but at least you can build onto it. It's just weird how some of it seems really well thought out, and it is inconsistent. Some of it's really well thought out, like hallways, but whenever it comes to Bespin carbon freeze chambers, it's kind of crap. It's sorry.
Yeah. No. And I think that's my thing. And I love that this chat has both Black Series collectors and TVC collectors like having the conversation along with us here, because we have those two different perspectives that I have walked both worlds. I have seen, the world of Black Series, and I see the world of TVC. Black Series is always going to be my bread and butter. It's the line that I started with when I got into my adult collecting. It's always going to be my main squeeze. It's always going to be like my centerpiece of my display. Now, what gets me is, Black Series is starting to do the thing that I wanted them to do for the longest time. Case in point, this Anakin and Obi-Wan set behind me, the little vignettes, little things to add to your displays. Because what got me was, let's be real, most Black Series displays are just characters lined up on a shelf.
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that there's something wrong with how you're displaying the figures or that it's lame or something like that. That's how mine are displayed. It's all just characters lined up on a shelf. Yes, I have them displayed like it's a movie poster, and it's like the main characters in the front. We do secondary, tertiary characters around them. But everybody's Black Series display is pretty much the same. Whereas when I got into the TVC community, and I will say, this is the thing that TVC needs to lean really hard into if they want to grow the line. Do things that are going to turn people's heads and draw eyes to TVC that otherwise wouldn't be drawn. With the Republic gunship, I would not be anywhere near as into TVC as I was. I know Hunter feels the same way, keeping up with new releases, paying attention to what stuff is coming out, etc., because of the Republic gunship. That's something that I want to. That's my basically my dollhouse. That's my centerpiece. And I'm going to fill it up with little guys, and I'm going to put little guys around it. I'll get little sets and vehicles and creatures to put around it to build a display. Whereas with Black Series, you're just buying the characters. There's nothing other than what they're leaning into now, which I love, which is the little vignettes like the Vader and Luke duel, the Anakin Obi-Wan duel. We're getting things that are diversifying that display. Black Series is now doing things they weren't doing, giving us things like Watto with a flight stand, Geonosian with a flight stand, a tall, lanky character like Ton Wee. We're getting things that help to make the display look more visually intriguing. We're diversifying the silhouette is the idea. Whereas with TVC, it's like it's a whole new world with TVC because you have such a different mindset when you're displaying. And I could say Hot Toys are the same way. I have a figure on a shelf. It's a character. He looks amazing. It's a definitive, amazing, most perfect version of an action figure, most definitive premium you could ever get. But it's a character on a shelf. I can't do a display. I can't really. You can do small vehicles. I have the speeder, the ATRT, etc. But there's only so much you can do. And Michael Gallupo brings up a point. That's why 3D printing is the best. My shelf is just Black Series dioramas. That's my other thing. I like that with TVC, as somebody who doesn't own a 3D printer, I don't have to go to a second party market. I don't have to go through these other vendors and get these other things. With TVC, it's just there. It's already like baked into the existence of that line, and that has really been what's really turned me on to. And I definitely want to catch up with chat.
If you have a 3D printer, you can enhance so much. Yeah.
Yeah, and I want Hunter. I'll give you a chance to jump in as well here, but I did want to pull up someone's chat in particular. Said something about this whole thing. I can't find it. I'll try and find it here. Oh, here it is from Tops.375. The reason why I could never collect Black Series despite better character choice is I can't army build droids, clones, and other troops in the same quantity. That's another huge reason that I was pulled into TVC. You give me a character that I want to army build, and I've shown I will army build it. You know, like you give me clone troopers that are good, and honestly, I'm going to say it. People are going to hate me. I think this is a better figure than the Black Series clone trooper. I think the TVC clone is a more fun figure to pose around than the current Black Series clone trooper. I think it looks better. I think that the doing the head without the helmet underneath, I think that the way it articulates, the proportions, everything for me is here. And I feel like with Black Series, it's just still a hair away from perfection. So that's another part of it. I love posing this guy around. I look at this in very natural moving and shooting pose that I have with this guy here. Like it's amazing. It's an amazing figure. And
the problem with Vintage Collection though is now, especially this week, we are up to 2 years ago Black Series prices now for your Vintage Collection figure.
Right.
They are now $19.99 at Target. That changed this week. They went up $4 this week. And that's got me like, oh shit, now what am I going to do? Because I've already pretty much dropped Black Series except for every now and then I'll grab a figure, but Vintage Collection's my bread and butter. That's where all my fun is. So now what?
Right. Yeah. Hunter, I'll let you jump in and then we'll talk to chat here.
I guess I just wanted to say I'm not an expert on what would fix TVC. I don't claim to know any of that.
Yeah.
But I will say I do think that there is a huge market of collectors and Star Wars fans out there that when you look at what's selling in, like what Tommy you said, like the big three, with like Black Series and Hot Toys, man, there's a lot of people out there that just like eat up anything that's clone related, anything that's prequel related. And I think that the gunship was like a huge step towards what, might be good for the TVC, because I think that, something like that will draw people in, and you'll just naturally have more people who are buying figures from TVC if you start bringing in more prequel and Clone Wars collectors, because there's a huge audience of collectors out there that, for 3 3/4 inch clones, they're collecting like the animated line. They're going back and collecting even some like old battle packs and like things like that. They're hunting for like some of the rare 3 3/4 inch clones. And I mean, if they just tapped more into that, I know that that's like a little bit of a controversial thing with some people in the 3 3/4 inch like TVC community on like, some people might want to gatekeep some, figures being made and some not being made. But like, I think having a broader, audience and just more overall people buying your product would be a better thing. And I think drawing like that audience in would be a great thing for TVC.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, I look at what I have on order right now, and I see that I think that there is the potential to really tap into a whole new market with Hot Toys. Hot Toys is already doing it. TVC is already doing it. Black Series is doing it as well, just all in different ways. And I think that TVC could really capitalize on the Clone Wars and prequel generation. I think that they could do that more, because the reason we're going back and buying all these old toys is because we don't have those representations with new stuff. I look at my Hot Toys orders that are open right now. What is it? Wolfpack Clone Trooper, Commander Wolf, Plo Koon, and I got Plo Koon specifically for his Clone Wars look. Darth Malgus, because I grew up watching those cinematic trailers and playing that video game, Old Republic. I have 2 12th clones on order right now. I've got Sergeant Hound, another clone trooper from the Clone Wars animated show, on order. Then I look at, Black Series, and it's all mostly prequel stuff. You look at my display, mostly prequel and Clone Wars, Scott.
Not vintage collection, but the old 3 3/4 inch Clone Wars figures from the mid 2000s.
Yep.
I just opened up 2 of them today. I'm like, oh, I don't have Padme in this outfit, like her vest and blaster and all that. And here's an Anakin that's not decked out in his armor. It's a basic Jedi Anakin, but done in Clone Wars look. So I'm like, I need this on my display. And I found those at an antique store. And I'm like, well, here we go. And which is cracking me up. Antique stores are where you're finding Clone Wars figures now. But
don't say that. Don't make me feel old.
Oh, yeah. How do you think I feel, man? So, but I mean, you're spot on, right? The Clone Wars did for us to made the prequels for us old heads so much better, right? And those figures, those characters, those versions of those characters aren't in vintage collection yet. So we're seeking out those older figures right now. If they decided to make those in vintage collection or Black Series, I bet you they do great, especially Padme. She's like one of the most underserved characters in all of Star Wars.
Yeah,
definitely. And that new Padme figure from Attack of the Clones is nuts. That figure is. I can't wait to open mine. The face, the likeness, insane.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
I know one thing when you look at the TVC figures that we do have that are from like that era too. Like, man, the ones that we do have are really expensive. Like, maybe not quite to that huge expensive level, but you got like Pre-Vizsla. You got, some of the clone troopers, the ARC troopers, and then you have like the older like Commander Cody. That's like $100, carded figure. And some of them older clones, man, they go for so much money. And if they just, kept out, pumping out some of the, I would like to see them do character clones instead of always just troop builders. I mean, troop builders are fine, but I feel like mine, me and Tommy, like our generation aren't after those like card backs. Like we would rather have like the 4 troopers in the cardboard box so we can like stock vehicles with them. I feel like that's kind of how we collect stuff. I mean, I might just be speaking for myself and Tommy, but I feel like the card backs aren't a big thing for us because when we were kids, man, we were just tearing them card backs open, whether it was the blue game card back, you know, in Clone Wars or Legacy Collection Saga.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't care what it was. I was tearing that open. You know, I only have them now as like a nostalgia trip to be like, oh, this is what I saw on the shelf when I was a kid. That's the only reason I'm after like some of them old ones now. But when it comes to new stuff, man, I rip them off so quick.
Yeah, you've seen how I open up my figures. I tear them up, man. I don't dick around with a little razor blade. No, man, rip that up. Let's go.
Yep.
But that's why I like the 4-packs and little boxes so much, right? You get those troop builder packs. They're fantastic. I'm like, let's get more of those and stop putting those on individual card packs, or slow down a little bit.
Right. And so I did want to point out, shout out to Commander Bly for the $4.99 super chat here. Being away from 3 3/4 collecting for so long and coming back now, I am blown away at how amazing the new TVC figures are.
So articulated, just fantastic little figures.
Yeah, I mean, the level of articulation that I can get is as good as Black Series. The likenesses on the figures are as good as Black Series. That was a big thing too, was for the longest time I was collecting, and I obviously part of the reason I got into Black Series was, one, Black Series was doing what I wanted TVC to do, which was give me that better character selection. Like Hunter, I collect very much for the character selection than I do, you know, I don't care at all about how many hands the character comes with, how many paint apps the character has. I want as many Star Wars characters as I can on my shelf. And I want to have as many characters representing the media that I like as possible. And that was what that animated Clone Wars line, the 30th anniversary line back in 2007, that's the Saga collection. That's what those lines gave us back in the day. And I was looking at TVC at the time and just being like, yeah, this just isn't for me. And now that script is flipped, I'm looking at, I mean, I have right off to the side here, I have the new Shaak Ti, I have the new Padme. I went and bought the Shadow Lord Maul because I wanted a Clone Wars look for Darth Maul, so I got that reissue. I was at Sir Troy's Toy Kingdom in Strongsville, Ohio, picked this up simply for Rule of Cool. I don't have any character that this guy's going to go with, but I picked him up for Rule of Cool, and because the figures are just that good now. That's the other thing. I picked up Ventress to go with my gunships in the Clone Wars display. Dark Times Vader, just for Rule of Cool. He's not going to go on a Republic gunship, but I gave one to my dad for his birthday.
Welcome.
And it's the same thing. Yeah, right? And then I looked at Vader and I said, oh, well, I need 2 Stormies to flank him. So, you know, it's also fun just like having multiple of a character and not having my entire shelf taken up by that character. I kind of want to get into chat because everybody, you know, as focused as by shelves as Black Series for characters, TVC for vehicles. Once I find out, wow, this was okay. I thought I was having a stroke. Find out how to make more money for Hot Toys. Okay. All right. Josh, I think I got what you were saying there. We got Rex in the chat. What's going on? I want more Clone Wars. Example, Riot clone, Camino clone, Commander Pawns, Jet, Thyre, ARF Trooper. You're speaking my language, dude. And look at this. Hal Runner's asking me too. How many Return to Tatooine figures did you pick up? A big fat goose egg. Because it's such a... And that's where it's like the generational thing. Shout out to Daryl DePriest, who I have an interview with on my channel. That is the thing. We are starting to get to the point that Scott's generation has already been through. Like that point in our lives where we're like looking back at what we grew up with that nostalgia, wanting to have an expression of that media on our displays, on our collections. That's why it's such a big focus for me to have prequel and Clone Wars. And I go out so far out of my way to support prequel and Clone Wars and things of that nature. And here we go. I want to see the same energy from Tommy next year when TVC becomes OT focused again. I have on good authority that Black Series and TVC will be celebrating the entire franchise in 2027 and not just.
I will say that your Padme, honestly, she did put that outfit on Tatooine, so you returned to Tatooine a little bit.
You bring up a good point. I think you got
Oh
me there.
man.
Yeah, I did. With that, gentlemen, I have got to go. So,
All right, cool. Scott, thanks
But-
so much for joining
Worries.
us.
thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. Good talk, and
Yeah.
keep it nerdy, everybody.
Ooh, we'll see you for
Peace,
Toy
Scott.
Chest.
Okay, see you Monday. Bye.
We'll see you. But yeah, so now it's just you and me. But yeah, we'll keep moving on here. The solution for army building TVC clones is the Amazon discount stocking, because the guys were talking in chat about, price increases. Veil's charging Hasbro prices. We've talked about that before. Even the knockoffs are getting more expensive now than your regular figures. TVC has been rightly so focused on OT to maintain the critical portion of fans who want Kenner and OT nostalgia, but it surrendered new media in expanding its audience to black. And that's where people like me and Hunter we fell into that cycle. We got to a point we wanted to start collecting Star Wars action figures. TVC, at face value at the time, was not giving us what we wanted. You look at Black Series giving us what we want.
Yeah.
So that's the key difference there. We got CT in here, tired of OT, will collect new ones, but would rather have Mando clones or aliens. And Riley Bob jumping in. I'm way behind on chat, guys, but Hasbro peeled back the curtain of the power of the prequel trilogy with the Clone Wars with the gunship. It wasn't the OT centrists that funded that. Now, if they steer more into it. Now, I know that there are some people like naysayers of the Republic gunship would say that it was a failure because it didn't get all the stretch goals and we didn't get Stacey Tin and Egan Kolar. But Hunter, I'd be interested to, I think it's kind of like the Tron HasLab. I think that this model where you start off with this big centerpiece item first before telling the buyer what else is coming down the road, I think that was a bad idea. And I remember all the buzz and excitement when Shakti and Padme got teased for the Battle of Geonosis. That really reinvigorated that, and saying, hey, an updated Phase 1 Clone Trooper is coming. I think that if you give us stuff to look forward to, hey, we've got this HasLab coming with this Republic gunship. If this funds, here's all this stuff down the road that you could use to supplement your Republic gunship. I think it was a missed opportunity with the gunship campaign, was them not saying right out the gate, there's going to be an ATRT, there's going to be a Bark Speeder, there's going to be clones, there's going to be Geonosians. That would get so many more people on board with that HasLab, rather than just banking on, okay, here's the big $450 flagship item, buy it or don't, and you have no idea what's coming later,
Yeah, I think it's what was I going to say? When it comes to that, it's like, man, it's hard. Like the psychology behind it of like, do you release it and you don't announce anything else, but then you drip feed something here and there along the way to try and create hype, artificially create hype with. But I feel like people initially, man, if you just had, like you said, you had it all out there for everyone to see, and you said, we're planning on companion pieces for this. We're planning on figures that are going to go for this, new figures, new sculpts, whatever, like you said, new clone troopers. People will have, first impressions are a huge thing. If people have a negative first impression, man, you might want to drip feed and, try to drop these little things here and there throughout the campaign. But there's some people, because the first impression was so bad, they didn't think it was worth it right off the bat. It doesn't matter what you say, you're not going to win them over.
Exactly.
And they're just going to, they're going to try to be no, it's still not worth it. It's still not worth it. It's still not worth it until the last day, it's I think it'd be way more successful if they had everything initially right there for you to see, and then people could make up their minds and then decide whether or not it was really something they wanted to get into, because it is kind of a commitment. I mean, it's not a huge commitment, but I mean, it's people don't just want one item a lot of the times. When you're spending that kind of money, collectors are thinking about what shelf am I going to set up and create an entire display using that piece, and that's going to start it all. So you kind of want to see what's down the road, what could potentially fill that, So
Yeah.
I think you're right there.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of people echoing that in the chat too, that like the HasLab model leading with a HasLab might not be the best idea going forward. And maybe even like you said, maybe if TVC would have dropped an ATRT or a Bark Speeder first, before we even knew there was a gunship coming, did some clones, did some Geonosians, and then a year after that, you're like, hey guys, check out this HasLab. This will complement all this stuff that came out in the last year. Low key, I kind of think they're doing it backwards. I think they should do a campaign, like a program for a year, Battle of Geonosis. And then at the end of that campaign, it's like, oh, and guys, here it is at the tail end. Now we have this giant crowd-funded or made-to-order project. It's the centerpiece to all these things you guys have been getting and we've been releasing for the last 12 to 18 months. And I feel like it'd be a great way to complement, giving people the insight like, oh, okay, so I'm getting this Bark Speeder. Oh, and wow, now there's this Republic gunship that my new Bark Speeder can fit inside and be flown around in. Oh, I bought all these clone troopers recently. Wow, now I have this Republic gunship I can load up with all my clone troopers, battle against some Geonosians, things like that. And that I feel like is a drawback to TVC, because the other part of it is, I mean, they only get half as many characters a year as Black Series does, generally speaking. And a lot of those are like repacks, and a lot of those are like, repaints. And that kind of leads us more into the conversation of like, does TVC need to change its strategy when the conversation comes up about how do we grow TVC? Because I think we're on a good direction. People like you and me have been more into TVC in the last 6 months than we've ever been in our entire lives.
I mean, dude, I've been paying attention to the reveals, like, man, how convenient was it that when I just got an ad at like probably 6 months ago, I was like, man, I need a Veers, and then all of a sudden, what was it? Not the last one, but the one before that, the Hasbro stream.
Yeah,
dude, we got a Veers, man, and we got a Snowtrooper Commander. I mean, there's stuff out there that, like, even with me just collecting vehicles, I want to fill it with TVC characters, and so like there's stuff that I'm even looking forward to, and like that Vader, I picked that up, and I mean, I paid it, like you said, I paid attention more to TVC. Like it used to be when I was Black Series and Hot Toys, I was like, all right, let's skip this part of the stream, like let's move on, like let's get the Black Series here, But now I'm like, I'm genuinely paying attention. I mean, there's some where they're just not for me, like like the Cantina 4-pack, like that's just like not. I have the HasLab Cantina, but I was just kind of like trying to support it. I don't have a place for it in my collection.
Yeah.
But I'm still paying attention to like if there's some drops that I want to get. Not everything's going to be for me, but I'm still paying attention more than I was.
And that's the thing I see here. Like, this is the other thing that ends up being a drawback to being like a TVC collector is you and I, we lived it when we were campaigning for the gunship. Seeing all of the hate for the gunship being like, this should have been, of all vehicles in all of Star Wars, the big brown box, the Sandcrawler. And that is where I would argue that's like the other side of that coin of like, I mean, we get super excited seeing that there's more prequel and Clone Wars love coming to TVC. How do you think these guys that have been really comfortable with TVC being like predominantly original trilogy focused feel? To them, us coming in is taking away from how much OT they get, which is their childhood Star Wars. So it's almost like this, we see this a lot with Star Wars in general. It's like sense of ownership over like your own nostalgia and what you grew up with. And rather than sharing the table, and where the entire community would benefit from like more of a balance between original trilogy and prequel trilogy and TVC, everybody would benefit. Whereas like, I think there's like almost, it's that gatekeeping mentality of like, we see it all the time in the Star Wars community and all different aspects of the Star Wars community.
But
yeah, it's
like you said, I mean, dude, I would have bought the Sandcrawler 100%. I would have bought that. I would have started buying vintage collection Ewoks. Like I would have started like, or not Ewoks. What am I saying? Jawas to stock the thing. But the thing that gets me when it comes to like the gunship was always like the argument of like they already made one, but it's like, okay, well, it might not be in the TVC line, but through the years of you collecting original trilogy 3 3/4, how many Millennium Falcons have been made? How many AT-ATs have been made?
Exactly.
And then like people are saying it could have been the Imperial shuttle. Well, they already made an Imperial shuttle, so it's like, well, why can't we try to expand things beyond the original trilogy to do? I mean, it's not like this is the third prequel trilogy vehicle HasLab that they've done in a row or something like that.
Right.
This is like the first one. And I will say that it's not like they've done a lot for original trilogy when it comes to the HasLabs, because you also have the Razor Crest and the Ghost. So when it comes to the HasLabs, they've only done the Jabba's sail barge, and then they've done the Cantina.
Right.
So I can see those guys wanting more, and I understand that they had to wait, a little bit to get, the Cantina from, they got the first one with the sail barge, which I guarantee you a lot of TVC collectors still don't even have that. They probably want that. It's probably a huge grail piece for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
But I feel like the next one should be original trilogy. I feel like that the only thing that the gunship really proved is that there's a large, unique group of people that will buy prequel trilogy, HasLabs. It might not be all of the TVC community, but there's a huge chunk that is all in on that prequel era.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not even counting in new people you might bring in if you continue to make that kind of stuff. So,
yeah, I think, and that's where it's funny because someone had mentioned it earlier. Micro Galaxy Squadron. I feel like Hot Toys and Micro Galaxy Squadron are kind of like they transcend this like back and forth between TVC and Black Series, because it's like, I mean, Micro Galaxy is so inexpensive that I don't even bat an eye when I see a ship. I'm like, oh, $10. Yeah, I'll get this pretty cool ship. It takes up no space at all. Hot Toys, it's like your once in a while, for most people anyway, it's your once in a while definitive most favorite character. It's never going to get more premium than this release for a figure. And I feel like with Black Series and TVC, it's this more of a battle between like, what do I want out of my display? And I think for you and me over time, I think we've kind of gotten tired of seeing a lot of the same. Everybody has all the same figures. Everybody has the same exact displays.
yes.
And I remember when we all became friends back in like you, me, Hendrix, and the guys, like back in like 2022, was it? Like 2021, 2022?
I think it was 2021, yeah.
Yeah. And we all just collected Black Series. That was it.
Yep.
And now our collecting habits are so vastly different, and our displays are so different. It's so much more fun to collect when you can look at like different displays and different people collecting different things. And I think you just get a lot more diversity with what TVC offers in general. And I think Black Series is doing a great job of trying to like meet that with the vignettes, with the small vehicles they've been doing. I want to see more of that. Yeah, but I think for me, it's like Black Series will always be my main squeeze for the character selection. But TVC, man, Black Series better watch out, because TVC is coming. And it's coming in strong, man.
I will say I've had this opinion for a while, but I feel like, focusing on what makes you happy and what you collect is like a huge deal. Like it's like a big dilemma that we all kind of go through over time. Like there's a big hype when you first get back into collecting, or like, say you've been collecting for a while, but if you have a lot of people that really like, TVC or the Black Series, like you're going to be more likely to go along with buying things that they want as well, or that they're hyped about. The thing that I felt recently was like, just to not feel like you're trapped to one figure line.
Correct.
because there's people out. I shouldn't say people out there, but the mentality of like feeling like you're stuck with one figure line makes you feel like you have to get everything. And then when it comes to things where like you might not want it, you're like, man, why am I paying, this kind of money to get something that I don't really want? Well, that's where, that mentality comes in, where it's like, man, I'd rather go to something else to, find something else where I care about it and I want to pick that up instead. And like, that's where I felt a lot more free when it comes to my collecting habits, where it's like I just focus on the things that I really want to collect, and figuring out over time of like, I don't really care about that anymore. I think I'm going to let that go.
Yeah.
Or, oh, this is super cool. I would rather focus on getting this instead, type of mentality is something that I've really been leaning into lately. I mean, Tommy, I've been getting NFL McFarlane statuettes recently.
Yeah.
Dude, I think it's cool. I'm like, man, some of them older ones, I'm like, okay, these are players I really liked, when I was a kid, and I'll pick them up because it's like $15 or something, And I don't know, it just feels so good to not feel like you're locked down to one figure line, and then feel like you get disappointed sometimes,
Definitely.
Because you'll always be hyper focusing on things that you are maybe disappointed in, or like maybe aren't what you like, or I don't know. I think you get what I'm saying.
No, I totally get what you're saying. And I think people in the chat are doing a good job of kind of building off that. Like, that's my thing at the end of the day. I recently actually, and a lot of what sparked this conversation is a post that I saw from Corellian Collectibles on Instagram, where it was like a post of like a Power of the Force 2 Luke Skywalker next to the Black Series Luke Skywalker from Book of Boba. And he was like talking about how like definitively better the 6-inch scale is than the 3 3/4 inch scale. And I commented on the post, and it was kind of a lengthy comment, but I was like, because I was like, it got me thinking. Like, I was like, a year ago, I would have agreed with like this post. Like, I would have seen this and been like, oh yeah, 3 3/4 sucks. Black Series, 6-inch is so much better. But like, now that I have a deeper appreciation for what 3 3/4 does that 6-inch can't do, the vehicles, the displays, the multi-packs, the less space taken up, I don't think that I could definitively tell you that one is better than the other. I think for me, it's just, and like you said, I pick and choose, and I collect both. And there's a reason that I still collect both, and there's a reason I'm still as into Black Series as I am, because both lines offer different things. And I think that it's important, one, to acknowledge that each line does something better than the other, but I think it's also important to acknowledge that it's okay for the lines to do things better than one another without and letting them play to their strengths. You know what I mean? Rather than just being like, yeah, to hell with one, I'm only going to commit to the other. I think that supporting the things that you like from both lines is definitely the way to go. Yeah, and I think it's like just picking what you value most in a collection, like what you want most for your collection, is the best way to go about it. Yeah,
definitely agree.
Yeah. But I saw someone had a question for you. It might have been a while.
Oh, for me?
Now. Yeah, they had a question for 2/12 Hunter. I'm gonna try and find it here. But someone had a question.
Oh, how many figure lines I collect? I'm running out of fingers, dude.
Rex asks, question for 2/12 Hunter. Want more vintage style of clone eras? Example, clone pilots, clone naval officer, clone Commander Pons, Jet Thyre, Bly, 41st, 2/12 Shock Trooper, Phase 1. I
think he's talking in TVC. He wants more. Yeah. No, definitely, dude. Like, that even there, I was going to bring it up before, but it's kind of funny how, like, when you look at early TVC, it seems like early TVC, they really tried to, like, build off of what the animated Clone Wars era was, with like prequel vehicles and Clone Wars and stuff like that. But then when you look at the time period, the kids that really like that stuff, like us, man, we were starting to get to be teenagers, and this stuff wasn't as big. And like, you know, when you're like 14 years old, I'm not going to ask my dad to be like, hey, can you buy me a ATAP from the vintage collection? Like, you hop on the internet and order that for me, Dad. You know, like,
I
no,
agree, man.
I think, I mean, I went through that point in time where I was a teenager going through middle school, high school, where I was kind of growing out of Star Wars figure collecting. And then, you know, when I finally graduated high school and I, you know, was an adult with a job, you know, a good, you know, I was making money. You were kind of looking back on some of that stuff that you had when you were a kid, and you're like, oh, now that I can like buy my own stuff, I kind of want to get some of that again, you know. But I feel like that was like the wrong time period for some of that stuff that they were coming out with in those early TVC days. And now I feel like it's a good time for them to like go back to some of that, you know.
I feel like they were losing our generation at the time, and you're right, because TVC 1.0 started in 2010, which would have been, trying to make a more premium line that's realistic, and we saw a lot more. I think they need to do that selection now, and now it would sell like much better than it did in TVC 1.0. Even with the price,
especially when you look for the prices that they're going for, some of them old ones. Yeah, people want them.
And that's the other thing is I made a video about this for Black Series back in like December, and I kind of want to do a similar video about TVC now. I'm going to be real. I see 1999 with the quality of the figures with TVC, because a lot of people focus on like what's in the box, and I'm like, bro, I don't care. Like, to me, this figure is a $20 quality figure. Like the things that I can do with this figure, the way I can pose it, the ridiculous articulation, the precise, very fine detailed paint apps, I see it. Like, I really do. Like, I think that it's worth it. And if you compare a lot of current newly tooled TVC figures to a figure that came out 10 years ago, the difference in articulation and sculpt quality is night and day. I don't care what anybody says. It's like a Darth Vader from 2007 versus this Dark Times Vader. Bro, night and day. This is such a better figure, and this was like, I think $15 when it came out. You know what I mean? That's where my head's at with this line, man.
Not to make a 3 3/4 inch figure in McDonald's comparison, but I will say, man, you look at how much food costs these days. People will spend $20 on a meal. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's like $20 on a meal, and like, I mean, yeah, you get like what nutrition out of it and all that, you know. But man, a figure versus like spending a couple, you know, getting that extra fry or something when you go to get something to eat. It's like, I don't know. I feel like you're right. $20 of value in this day and age, in this economy, I feel like the value is there, to be honest.
I hate to be the guy that says this, but it's like, I think people just need to get with the times. I think you need to understand that like everything is more expensive, and part of that, and also thankfully for us, like the quality of your average action figure is exponentially better than it was, you know, several years ago. That is the other part I think people overlook, and they like, I guess, like, are just ignorant to, like they choose to be ignorant to it, is like, oh, well, figures used to be $8.99, and I'm like, yeah, bro, and figures now are way more posable than they were when they were $8.99. Like, the quality of the paint apps, the quality of what you get on average is so much better than what they were doing back then. That's just my personal take, you know. That's where I'm at. I think you need to have a little bit of a reality check. If you, and I say the same about Black Series, dude, that the more the figures are just such better quality. Like, when I see people be like, oh, Black Series used to be $19.99, I'm like, dude, Anakin Skywalker from 2013 and Anakin Skywalker from 2025, dude, it's nowhere near the same. It's nowhere near the same. The things the poses that I can get with this new Anakin, the way that this new Anakin is engineered versus that old Anakin figure, it's not even. I mean, I know you agree. I mean, look at Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan is another great example for Black Series. It's not even comparable, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you took if you had like a time machine and you like grabbed a couple Black Series from today and you like took them back to like 2013 to be like, hey, put these on the shelf, dude, I bet you they would think that those are like straight up deluxe figures. When you look
Yeah.
at the articulation and everything and the sculpting and like the photo reel, they would be like, oh man, this is like a $30 figure we got to put on the shelf. So like compared to what they were doing, man, yeah, no, I'm right there with you.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's well. Tops point 375 is coming in saying that he thinks the quality of TVC is better at this price point than Black Series at its current price point. I collect both, so I personally see both. Like, you know, and you know, Moocher brings up a good point. That to me, I think
That's a
is
problem. Yeah.
it's a problem, but it's not something that I think I'm gonna be real. I don't think it's a relevant like thing to bring into this argument. Like not like I agree with what Moocher is saying. Like that is a
Same.
that I guess what my point is that's a separate issue. That's something that is completely out of control of, you know, the things like production costs and licensing fees and things like that. It's two separate things. It's like, you know, the weather gets hotter in the summer, so ice cream sales and crime both go up. That doesn't mean that ice cream sales cause crime. It means that these two things are happening at the same time because of a shared, you know, commonality with the way, you know, that you know, thing back in the day that they always would say in college. The comparison there. That was always correlation doesn't equal causation. But yeah, that's just kind of like I hate that we all have to be more picky as collectors in general. Like, obviously, I want everybody to be able to get everything, myself included. There's stuff I have to pass on and stuff that I have to, you know, say I'm going to get it later because it's not in the budget right now. But I'm so satisfied with every figure that I get, like with Black Series, with TVC, with Hot Toys. I can't tell you the last time I opened a figure and had to say that I was disappointed. You know, I think the last time I said I was disappointed in a figure was Black Series Pre-Vizsla. That was a figure that I was disappointed in, you know. But yeah, I think it's just one of those where it's pick and choose. Like comparing the scales, I'm kind of over the whole like scale wars argument. I kind of think it's like an annoying thing to me now when I see people do like this other scale sucks. Like I only do this scale, I only do that line. It's like who cares, man? Just buy what you want from other. Just collect Star Wars. Like I don't see a reason for us to, you know, have to be fighting over, you know, which one is definitively the best because I think that all of them do certain things that are better than the other two. I think TVC does stuff that's better than Hot Toys and Black Series. I think that Hot Toys obviously does stuff that's better than the other two lines. And yeah, Moocher says it down here. Collect Star Wars, you know? But yeah, I'm not sure where Hunter went. I think he just turned off his camera, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, we got, hey, what's up, Obi Dad? In the 90s, I started with 375, but due to finances and a divorce, I stopped collecting in the 2000s. Can't remember my first new figure, but I picked up a single Black Series during the Red Boxes. That was where I got into it, was towards the tail end of Red Box. I got Captain Rex, the Sith Trooper. I remember I got the Rise of Skywalker First Order Stormtrooper. But yeah, it's just... Yeah, Hunter's had enough, he says. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what happened. We might be finishing the stream solo dolo, guys. But I do have a couple more topics I want to talk about. But yeah, oh, he's back.
Ooh, excuse me, sorry about that.
Dang, bro, you made a quick exit and a quick reappearance.
Drank too much fruit punch.
That's great. Okay, good to know. But Hunter, any closing thoughts or statements on this last one here, on this whole conversation that we had? Because my closing statement was, I think that every line, Hot Toys, TVC, and Black Series, they all do something that's better than the other two. And I don't think that I could definitively say, I kind of was saying, like, I hate this whole scale wars thing. I've been saying that for a while. And here's TVC Trev. I'm so over the scale wars. If a character comes out in one line, there's a better chance to get it in the opposite line. Exactly. And I'm very much the same way. I know you kind of feel the same, but did you have any like closing statements to make on this? Because again, you and I, we both collect all three. We both do all three lines, you know?
Right. I think, I said it before. I think, don't feel like you're trapped to one line, because like you said, one line will do something that is cooler than the other, might do it better. So feel free to dip your toes a little, in one and the other. You don't have to be a completionist of one and then look at the other and be like, oh, I wish mine also got that same stuff. You can do both and still enjoy it. I mean, I have 3 3/4 inch vehicles that I could never get in Black Series, and there's characters in Hot Toys that I couldn't even see Black Series do. So
Yeah.
feel like your options are open to do multiple scales. You're not like trapped to do one. That's pretty much what I think.
It's not like the mafia. You're not in this family forever. You can bounce around and collect whatever you want. July brings up a good point here. The scale wars comes from the budgetary discrepancies. Not really my scale is better. It's that the case of Hasbro Black Series absorbs most of the budget. I know that kind of is what sparks a lot of animosity from TVC collectors, is that Black Series gets a lot more budget year to year than TVC gets, which I think that kind of brings us back to this point that I kind of like alluded to a few times in this stream, which is like the Hasbro Star Wars team keeps saying, okay, well, we need to sell more TVC in order to grow the budget for TVC. And I think that there are some very easy things that they could do that they're not doing that would help grow the sales for TVC. I hope that 2026 is a step in the right direction to help grow those sales. But at the same time, it's like, if both sales, there we go. If both scales got the same figures, no one would fight about it. Exactly. But that's
I feel like they would still fight. I mean, they would still fight. They'd be like, oh, Marin and TVC got the little hand effects, but the Black Series didn't. Like, there would always be something. If there was any difference at all, it's just the nature of it.
It is true. It's always, there's always going to be pretentious assholes on both sides that think that, the other one needs to be stomped into the ground,
Yeah.
And it's so funny. Like a year ago, I was like all Black Series. Like what? I've always bought TVC Clone Troopers, and I'd buy the occasional TVC here and there. But I'm so much more into and excited about that line now because they're appealing to me as a consumer. They're appealing to what I want to buy. And I think that they maybe need to take notes in that way. TVC needs to look at what's selling in Black Series and maybe lean a little more into that prequel Clone Wars EU, direction.
Yep.
But yeah, the gunship, bro, you're spitting. The gunship changed me forever, man. Gunship changed me forever. Yeah.
No, I'll tell you.
Sounds like a live stream I heard about once. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Yeah.
I bought more TVC figures 2025 than I've bought Black Series.
Yeah, look at my dad. My dad was out on collecting for like a decade, and the gunship is what pulled him back in. So for every naysayer on the gunship, there's people like me, like Hunter, like my dad, who are so much more into the line now because of that HasLab. Hal Runner, of course. Yeah, I didn't think so either, dude. If you would have told me at the beginning of 2025 that I'd have 75 TVC clones and a million more well on the way. Shout out Awful Risk Vader. You fought in the scale wars? Oh, dude. I was a TVC knight the same as your father. He was the best vehicle collector in the galaxy, and he was a good friend. I'm a TVC collector, but our group is notoriously cheap. They are so cheap. TVC and Black Series cost the same to produce, but Hasbro very sensibly favors Black Series because its price point. I do agree. TVC has been historically overpriced. I know the whole thing is that it costs the same to produce, but if you look at inflation and the way that that has changed over time. That's a big thing I always bring up on my channel. You know, Black Series now at $28 is the same money that 1999 was back in 2013. So adjusted for inflation, the price of Black Series hasn't changed all that much, almost at all. Whereas with TVC, dude, it's not even close. Like TVC figures are way more expensive in, you know, today's money than they were in 2010. Granted, though, they made such leaps and bounds, whereas Black Series hasn't made as significant of leaps and bounds in articulation and such, you know, when compared to TVC. Black Series never had the issue of swivel hips and, you know, things like that, right? But, but yeah, man, it's a great. I feel like we could talk about this forever. This
I know
this topic.
I know.
So I'll kind of drop it there, guys. But yeah, that was a good discussion we had. But there is a stream I want to do, and I want to save it for when I can get some of the SWTVC guys on, and like Toys Are the Way, and like the Twin Sons collecting guys, and a lot of TVC collectors, and talk about how do we grow TVC? Like how do we, you know, Mr. Stevie keeps saying we need to grow TVC. Okay, what are some ways to effectively do that? Not just put out a character and hope for the best. I think we need to seriously reevaluate what TVC is, and you know, really evaluate how we can grow the line to grow the budget for the line in the coming years. There we go. We have to raise the MSRP. Hashtag TVC for $50. Give us Pong Krell. I think character selection is a big part of growing TVC. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But we got Obi Dad. I never sold my 1/18th, but I started, but certain TVC again when they raise their. Yep, that's the thing. Those HasLabs, man, they'll get you to buy figures, man. Yeah, we all got to band together to keep TVC healthy. Listen, bro, last year, 2025 was the year of bridging the gap between Black Series and TVC with the HasLab, with the Gunship HasLab. 2026 needs to be the year of, okay, we've come together. Now we need to help the line flourish and become bigger than it's ever been, you know?
But nobody collects both scales, Tommy.
Nobody does. No, nobody collects both scales. What's up, Andrew? svny.art.
Yo.
What's going on? So Hunter, we have a couple more topics we'll briefly discuss on the stream today. These are not collecting related, so
right.
we'll have a brief discussion about these. So let's talk about a little announcement earlier this month. Talking about good news.
Are we talking about the political climate of the world?
We are. We're going to talk about the political climate. Grifters are fist pumping the air all over the world right now. Shills are crying. The rest of us who are sane human beings are still really excited. Kathleen Kennedy is retiring after years and years of false rumors and hoaxes and all this stuff about Kathleen Kennedy and Jon Favreau getting into, you know, judo matches, and Kathleen Kennedy arm wrestling Dave Filoni, and George Lucas coming and drop kicking Kathleen Kennedy and taking back Star Wars. Kathleen Kennedy is retiring this year, and she's going to be replaced by Dave Filoni and Lynwen Brennan. Lynwen Brennan is going to be taking over more of the logistical, administrative duties of the leadership role of Lucasfilm. She has extensive experience working on the very complex and fast-paced production for Star Wars projects. I think she's a great fit for that role, and she's familiar with the franchise. She's worked in Lucasfilm, and of course, our guy, my GOAT, Dave Filoni, is going to be the chief creative officer and CEO of Lucasfilm going forward. Hunter, I've already made a video on my channel about how excited I am about this announcement. How are you feeling about this announcement from Lucasfilm?
Dude, I think it's great. I'm more than anything, I'm excited that Filoni's just got absolute free reign to do whatever he wants. And I've seen people say that could be good or bad, but you know what? I believe in Dave Filoni. Let's give him a shot and let's see what he does, man. I feel like he can do, just work his magic. And I might be biased because he helped, form my childhood era of Star Wars that I fell in love with. But I have confidence in Dave Filoni and his ability to make Star Wars, just
Yeah.
fantastic.
Oh yeah, dude. And that's my thing is Dave Filoni has something that many creators don't. And it's a true passion for Star Wars, the
Hmm.
perspective of having worked directly with George Lucas, learned how George Lucas sees Star Wars and doing what's best for the franchise, not what's in the special interests of maybe that writer, that director, maybe, oh, well, I'm going to do this and kind of go out of the box. I think that yeah, Bly puts it perfectly. We are in the best hands we could be in. No one else I'd rather choose to lead Lucasfilm. I agree. And
Yep,
especially giving him, splitting up the work like that, because I was always worried about Dave
that's
Filoni being
perfect.
CEO, getting bogged down with like all the administrative stuff. That's Lin Brennan's job. Dave Filoni now can tackle the thing he's best at, which is creating a story, telling
Yep.
a story, creating a narrative, building characters. And I think that having done it with George for so many years before Disney acquired Star Wars, I think that this is going to be, yeah, the way to go. It's going to be the way to go. Hey, Tops point 375. Thanks for joining the Rancor Battalion. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. But yeah, dude, I'm so excited, man. Dave Filoni made Clone Wars. He made my favorite
Yeah.
thing in all of Star Wars, and because of that, I have faith. You may, because this is the other thing too. Star Wars. I think that adults kind of get away from what Star Wars is supposed to be. I think that as adults, we kind of lose track of that. We get so caught up in like, oh, is it peak? Is it slop? Is it based? Is it, like it, oh, like what actor is going to be, oh, I don't like how they said that line. Dave Filoni always has this focus on the magic of Star Wars and what Star Wars is beyond it's more about the story that Star Wars is here to tell more than it
Hmm.
is about, what plot points are make sense the most, what pacing, blah blah blah. That stuff is important with production of TV and movies, but I think that Dave Filoni has such a good grasp on keeping things consistent. That's what I want to see most in Star Wars is less inconsistency in my Star Wars. I want it to feel consistent. I want it to all make sense together, and I think that Dave Filoni being the one that gives things the stamp of approval is going to help to mitigate a lot of the frustrating things that we've seen in the last almost 10 years now. Well,
No,
more
I
than 10
definitely
years.
agree.
Yeah, but yeah, I think only good things to come from here. I'd rather have Star Wars that isn't the best cinema ever made, but it's all consistent, than Star Wars that some is great and some sucks. You know?
Well, also, I feel like Star Wars is a universe that it's when you look at films that people talk about being like the best films of all time, they're not meant for the same audience that Star Wars is. Like Star Wars is very much like meant for like your family audience, meant for
Yep.
like that kids can enjoy it, but it's still like serious enough that adults will also enjoy it
Mm-hmm.
and just fall in love with that universe and all the the aspects of it that people think are is just awesome. But it'll never be like your number one films of all time, like your top 10. Like it's just not like that's a different audience. So that's a very like adult audience you're kind of like focusing on when you're talking about like the best written, the best
Right.
played films of all time. Like that's a very adult audience in comparison to the Star Wars, like what they're writing. So
Mm-hmm. I agree. We have a couple people. Moocher, there's Star Wars, then everything else. Definitely agree with you.
mhm.
Top says Filoni is an animation goat. I'm meh on his live action involvement, but I'll survive. Bly says, I just hope the Disney suits trust Dave's decision making. That is my one worry. Is I think that with Dave Filoni at the helm, I think we will get to see how much corporate meddling happens with these projects. Because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, these people who don't have a creative bone in their bodies are relying on focus groups and now AI to tell them what's going to be the best story to tell. and what's going to make them the most money. So hopefully we can just rely on creativity instead of stupid people that don't know what they're talking about. Um, but yeah, we got Obi Dad. I remember when Disney bought Lucasfilm, someone said something like they hope to see them do other genres in that Star Wars universe, like rom-coms, horror. Of course, that never happened, and I don't see that happening under Dave, so that's not probably changing. But I'm hopeful with these two. I would beg to differ because look at all of the different genres that they leaned into with the Clone Wars. You have a little bit of horror with the Geonosian parasites and the Geonosian zombies. You have your romance with Ahsoka and Lux Bonteri, Obi-Wan and Satine. You have your Anakin and Padme focused episodes that are very rom-com. Wait, don't trust AI? Wait, don't trust Al? Why did you put don't trust Al in the chat? Um, that's I think Clone Wars being an anthology series was very experimental with what Star Wars could be. Um, so I'm here for it. I think Dave has a way of making Star Wars fun while also
Yep.
testing the waters and experimenting with Star Wars, getting weird. I like when Star Wars gets weird. I like when they go out of the box.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Like look at the Mortis arc, you know?
Yeah.
Like a lot. I mean, that might be a little controversial, but I
Yeah.
think that I always thought that was, super cool. And I love the Ahsoka show and where some of that's leading.
Yeah, most definitely. Let's see. I think one factor is volume. There's so much that's not special. Ice cream for breakfast. Okay, that's another one. I think that we've gotten too much Star Wars too fast because there were too many cooks in the kitchen, too many hands in the pot. I think that a great way to mitigate that is going to be to have Dave Filoni who can just say, "No, that doesn't make sense for Star Wars. No, that's not what this character would do. No, that you know what I mean?" As opposed to just like there's so much coming out all the time that we can't even keep track.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited about this announcement. I'm excited to see the direction that Star Wars takes. But anything else you want to say on this one, Hunter?
No, I don't think so. Nothing but positives for me.
Exactly,
Just
dude.
hopefully optimistic.
Yeah. And then we'll close things off. Our last topic, of course, being
All right, I'm
Hunter's
gone.
favorite topic. 212 Hunter's favorite character in Star Wars, Maul. We did get a teaser trailer for Maul Shadow Lord actually this past week, and it made me really excited that I had picked up this Darth Maul action figure for TVC. This is going to be really cool to see this show. Clone Wars animation with a little bit of an edge to it, a little bit of like a more oil painting, a little bit more rigid feeling. The combat, did you watch the teaser trailer?
I did not.
Okay. Do you care if I talk about an aspect of the teaser trailer?
No, no.
What I want to say is that the combat in this show is absolutely brutal, ruthless combat. I thought I was watching Force Unleashed gameplay with the amount of dismemberment that I saw in that
Oh
like
wow,
minute
really?
long. You get to watch Darth Maul throw his lightsaber and you get to watch 3 TK troopers get split in half at the waist, like all in a row.
Wow.
And I saw limbs flying everywhere. It is it is a story told through Darth Maul's eyes. It's brutal, it's ruthless, it's about a character who is like the antithesis of Ahsoka. The apprentice that is betrayed and goes the other way that Ahsoka went. Ahsoka chose to stick with the good guys. Yeah, Maul Death Lord. I'm good with that. Yeah, very glad they're not shying away from violence as well. I mean, the Clone Wars did a great job of that too. I thought the Clone Wars never really shied away. That show killed people like it was going out of style, to be honest with you. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
what's the quote in Clone Wars when Maul comes back? He's like, "There's one thing that the Jedi can't ignore. It's like death of the innocents or something," and then he just
yeah,
genocides everybody, basically.
yeah. Destroys a whole village.
Yeah,
It's it's a show I'm really excited for. The trailer really helped to build my excitement for this show. I liked seeing a lot of returning stuff. Like there were a lot, Hunter. There were a lot of Republic gunships in the trailer. There were
Oh
lots and
wow.
lot, and I loved seeing. That was why earlier when we were talking about the TK Trooper, I said I want to see him in TVC because like we saw so many of these guys um, in like filling up these gunships. There were TK Troopers full like filled up in gunships left and right in this trailer. Um, yeah, I'm so excited for this.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be an awesome show, man. I'm really excited. And well, so what they're doing is they're doing a 2 episode premiere on April 6th. I thought this wasn't coming out till the fall, but it's coming out in April. Um,
Oh wow.
yeah, and they're doing 2 episodes a week. And then
Okay.
the final 2 episodes come out on May 4th.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So what is the like Star Wars schedule for this year with them all coming out this spring now? And
Yeah,
then
so it's going to be Maul Shadow Lord is 10 episodes, 2 episodes a week for 5 weeks from April 6th to May 4th. And then we get Mando and Grogu movie on May 22nd. And then allegedly Ahsoka season 2 in the fall.
hey,
So be a
looking forward to that.
pretty peak year for Star Wars if you ask me.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, I'm so stoked for this show. And they just do the animation is crazy. It's every time I think that the Clone Wars animation style can't get better, they prove me wrong.
Will this be the last time we see it, do you think?
No. No,
No.
I think they'll keep doing the Tales of like micro series.
Oh yeah.
I think I really fingers crossed hope there's a Clone Rebellion show. I had heard rumors
Oh
about it.
yes.
I
Yep.
heard rumors about it in 2025. So hopefully in the next couple of years we see something. Maybe at Celebration in 27, we'll see some of that come to fruition. Um, but yeah, that's Maul Shadow Lord, dude. Super stoked.
I will
But
say I am not boycotting this show. I will watch it.
all right, all right, all right.
I
Everybody,
will watch it.
I think you should fill everybody in on
Oh
on
no.
your hatred of. So you got to explain why you weren't even gonna watch this show.
Wait, I don't remember why though.
You weren't even gonna watch it because you don't like Darth Maul.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't know. I was kind of just questioning whether or not I was gonna, because I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of like the whole crime lord story. Like I'm definitely someone who just kind of wish that Maul's story ended a long time ago. And but I'm not gonna hate on him too much. I'm just not a fan of him still being alive, still kicking and doing stuff. But it is what it is. Obviously in this time period, he has to be doing something because he was already written in Rebels.
Yeah,
So
has
he
like
has to be
15
doing something
years
at
to be
this.
alive. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So, and he ain't just going to sit around on a lazy boy and just chill for 15 years, watching King of the Hill or something. So,
Dude,
yeah.
so funny. But yeah, I think that's all I have on this topic. If you're good, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think at that point we're probably good to wrap the stream. So Hunter, is there anything you wanted to show off? I know you like to do your recent pickups when we do these live streams.
Oh, man.
Before we go, anything that you really want to show off? Look at him.
Not anything near me. Not anything near me.
Well, guys, I've got some cool reviews coming out on the channel in the near future here. Got this guy in the mail not too long ago.
Oh, I got him too. Yep.
Here, let me make myself big here. I love that the overlay stays. Oh, I didn't even realize. Look, it shows my little. That's good. But yeah, I got SHF Grievous in the mail. So
Sweet.
shout out Ami. Got that out to me. And then I have a ton of TVC. Where's Max Rebo? You still in chat? Brother, I got this because of you. I saw him at Sir Troy's Toy Kingdom. I was like, dude, Carson Teva? I'll get him for Max. Got tons of TVC, like the new wave. Oh, geez. Got figures falling everywhere. You can probably hear it. Some older figures that have been out for a little bit that I picked up. Some newer figures like the new TVC wave. as I keep throwing things on the ground. I have some hot toys on the way, like the new Wolfpack Trooper hot toys. Those are on the way. Commander Wolf is going to ship soon. What else do I have? I really am excited to review this guy as well. This month has been super hard, guys, for like reviewing stuff and making content. Work has just been kicking my butt nonstop all month this month. So hopefully I have some time this week to get back in the saddle when it comes to, reviews and content, things like that. Because I really miss it. That's like my outlet to, decompress with work. But I think other than that, I've just got lots of other stuff. Hunter, you got something you want to show off?
I grabbed some stuff. Yeah,
There you go. Let's see it.
So I got my pile of loot, dude.
Ooh. 501st Hunter?
Well, I got Rex back there. I needed a helmet, the Rex helmet to go with my Cody helmet.
Yeah.
So I had to pick that up. And then these are a couple Facebook Marketplace buys. I'm the Facebook Marketplace menace, as Tommy knows.
Brother, I had that when I was a kid.
The Captain Rex Lego ATTE.
Oh, man.
This is my way of collecting Lego without diving too far in, is I'm going for every ATTE set. So
Sick.
This was one on the list, which is kind of like a more niche one, but got that one. And then really cool one, kind of another niche one, but 3 3/4 inch vehicles are my thing, and I love getting the old ones, so this was also one I wanted to get.
Sick.
This is a pretty rare one, but I got it in a big bundle for a really good price, like super good price. So yes, sir.
Awesome. Is that it?
And then I also grabbed this earlier to show off the 1000 toys for anyone who hasn't seen them. But
yeah, look at that. That's too cool.
You can see like his little helmet, even though it's super blurry. But
no, I can see it.
Yeah, he's cool, man.
Dude, sick, man. Yeah, that's awesome. Like I said, guys, so many reviews I gotta do. Bsum asks, are we getting more Black Series Most Wanted lists? Yes, so I am currently in the works with Courtney's Cantina. Shout out to Courtney. We are working on getting a Google spreadsheet that will be publicly accessible for you guys to see the master list of, the Black Series Most Wanted. It'll be like numbered and everything, and it's
Cool.
going to take a long time to put together, but we're working on it. Also, shout out to Michelle and Lil Beastie. I would just like to say I love this community. It gives me something me and my daughter have in common. It's really got us talking again and squashed the growing distance we had between us. Well, I'm really glad to hear that. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's what Star Wars is all about. It's all about community.
Yeah.
It's all about family. That's what Max, I hate to break it to you, but Short Trooper Captain was probably number 800 something out of the whole master list. We had close to 1,000 characters on the master list for Black Series Most Wanted.
You got to hit us with the top 12 least most wanted.
Right now?
No. I mean, at some point.
Oh, I have it on my phone.
The least most wanted, the ones that only got like one submission.
Dude. Which I guess I could pull that up real quick if you want to check it out. Since we're just like messing around, I can go to the Black Series Most Wanted Instagram, because we did have a little bit of an update for Most Wanted this month, didn't we? Someone's asking in chat, what was the least wanted? Well, I'm gonna pull it up here.
Probably a couple ties in there. There's probably a bunch of ties for just one submission, right?
Check it out, guys. Black Series Most Wanted already ticked off one of its 12 winners, being Watto. Less than a week after the official reveal of the first Black Series Most Wanted, we have ticked off Watto off the list with his official figure reveal. So that was really cool. Apprehended. So I'm going to have an apprehended stamp. Hopefully we get to stamp at least one or two more of these guys before the end here. So that's super cool. But here, someone's asking in chat, I'll list off some of the least wanted characters. I don't think I've told anybody this, have I?
No, I don't even know this.
Okay. So the least wanted were Ezra Bridger in his Scout Trooper disguise from Star Wars
Wow,
Rebels.
really?
Just a Scout Trooper with Ezra's head, basically. Then we have, do you know who Gragra is?
No.
Gragra is the alien that when in Phantom Menace, Jar Jar steals the frog from on Tatooine.
Oh,
And he goes,
yeah, yeah.
oh, whoopee, whoopee. That's that one.
I couldn't even tell you what he looks like, to be honest.
Then we have Darth Vindican is one of the least wanted. And least wanted just means like ones that like only one person put on their list. Unfortunately, my goat Sui Choi is one of the least wanted.
Really?
Another least wanted for Black Series, Arliel Shus. An update to Luke Skywalker in his Stormtrooper disguise. A Mando season 2 Cara Dune. And then Wes Jansen.
That name's familiar.
And a bunch of other characters that you wouldn't even know, such as Borsk Phalia, Tanel Kajo, and what's another one that's like really low on here? There's some of these guys like they just a partisan alliance fighter from Rogue One, just a random Saw Gerrera partisan alliance fighter. Yeah,
random Gorman from Andor.
Yeah. There were actually a handful of people. I want to say like 5 people put Gorman Resistance Fighter as just a generic Gorman Resistance Fighter on their list. Yeah. Borsk is a Bothan. Yes, that was it. Kind of surprised that some of them were so low. The updated Luke and Stormtrooper disguise would be a great pick. Well, so that's the other part of it. It's like your Black Series most wanted. So like a lot of these characters, like it's not necessarily that like nobody wants it. These are characters that made your top 12. Like, you know, so like for a lot of people, like, yeah, an updated Stormtrooper Luke is not a priority in the same way that the 12 characters you see on screen right now are a priority for a lot of people.
It's probably a lot. I mean, the top 12 is almost exclusively all new characters, right? Ones that have never been done before.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, those are one, like, they're going to beat out probably your redone figures that, you know, a lot of people already have, so.
Most definitely. But yeah, I'm hoping that we get to tick off and give an apprehended stamp on at least one more of these before the end of the year. I have a feeling that a couple of these will get made before the end of the year. But yeah, that was another big thing. We had our official reveal this month of Black Series Most Wanted, and now we have one of our 12 already apprehended. So hopefully we get a couple more. But yeah, with that, Hunter, I'm good if you're good to get out of here.
Almost 3 hours?
Almost 3 hours, not bad at all, huh?
No.
Yeah. Thanks so much, everyone, for hanging out. I know we did change the time a little bit. We did it a little earlier today, just because it worked better for our schedules to stream a little bit earlier today. We'll probably do similar stuff in the future on these Blitz Barracks streams. But, oh, hey, 3 more hours? Listen, bro. But yeah, guys, on that note, again, make sure to check out all the links in the description below. If you want to get all my content early, check out the Blitz Transmissions Patreon. We also get monthly giveaways, things like that. I will be posting very shortly the next Patreon giveaway prize. That's $4.99 a month. Link in the description below. If you want to join the YouTube channel membership, Rancor Battalion, you get to check out all my reviews early here on YouTube, and you get exclusive badges, priority replies and comment sections, all that cool stuff. You can check out the channel membership, link in the description below. If you want some merch like this Blitz Transmissions trucker hat I have on right here, you can check out the Blitz Transmissions Armory on Printify. That link is in the description below. And yeah, with that, I have all my social media linked down below. So is Hunter's Instagram page, linked in the description below. So, Hunter, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
The only thing I got to say is watch out for those Discord at everyone's for the next community game night. That's what I got to say.
This is true.
Next month. Yep,
Yeah.
going to be planning it.
Sweet. But all right, guys, we're going to get out of here because we've got other stuff to do, like maybe play Fortnite. But okay, we're going to get out of here. We'll talk to you guys later. And as always, may the Force be with you.
Breaking off. All units, fire at will. 1-2, pick a target. Too many, Captain. Watch your stabilizer, Gold 6. Anybody cover me. I got 2 vultures on my tail. Gotta hold them here. Watch your left. I can't shake them.